Our broadcast.
Sponsored by TR Hughes Homes and Golden Oak Lending. This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. Mark Reardon.
The heart of America is not government. The center of America is not Washington, D.C. The center of America is the neighborhoods where 330 million Americans are raising their kids and trying to put food on the table and trying to love their neighbors.
Mark Reardon.
There's nothing worse than a reckless jackass who thinks he's smarter than everybody else.
I am the smartest man alive!
The Mark Reardon Show is on now.
You know, I love it when Mark Reardon decides to take a holiday week off because it gives me the opportunity to actually do more than one day. Hey, it's Mike Elam in for Mark today. Ethan is here. Sue is here. How are y'all?
Oh, we're great. Ethan's just back from his honeymoon in Hawaii, so I think he's better. Well, I don't know if he's better now that he's back.
He's probably tired. That's a long
terrible.
flight. That's what I meant.
We flew out
Of course.
of Maui at 8 a.m. yesterday, and we got in at 11:30 p.m. So it was a long day. There was a nice little layover in Vegas. But it's like 4 hours earlier there, so it was a little bit of a weird night of sleep. So
I bet that was.
Yeah.
But everything went great. You had a wonderful time.
Oh my gosh, how could it not? I mean, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Those beaches are insane, and people always ask, well, is it beach or mountains? And Hawaii has both in plain view. So I mean, yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Did a lot of really cool things. So yeah, could not have been a better week.
What was your favorite part that you can talk about?
The road to Hana was absolutely amazing.
I love that movie.
That would be Moana.
Moana. Yeah,
Close,
I knew it was something
close.
like that.
So
The Rock is everywhere.
So the road to Hana is a 60-mile drive to the west side of the island, this tiny little town called Hana. You're straight up driving through a rainforest. There is
Oh, that's awesome.
it is constantly named one of the most dangerous roads in the world. There are, let's see, I think
What a great way to spend your honeymoon on one of the most
they-
dangerous roads ever.
It's nicknamed Divorce Highway. I mean,
Wow.
it has
Wow.
61-lane bridges.
So you're saying it's worse than Manchester Road?
Close.
Okay.
Close,
I
but
didn't know.
yes.
I didn't know it could be worse.
There's, oh man, what number was it? There's over 200, it might be even more than that. There's over 200 sharp turns. I mean, it is,
Wow.
It's a crazy drive, but I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. That's where, Black Sand Beaches, which is a pretty popular destination there, is close to the end of that drive. So we were up on that day at 6 a.m. to start off that drive, and there's a bunch of different stops along the way and views of the ocean from high cliffs and whatnot. But yeah, that was probably the most fun day. It was probably a 12-hour day in total. But like I said, the crazy part is it's 60 miles there, 60 miles back, but it's a full day of driving just because you have to drive so slow the entire time, and you're just windy turns back and forth. It was pretty crazy.
Great thing to do on the honeymoon when you have the time.
Hey,
Yes.
You're not rushed. Sue, have you ever been to Maui?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
And my cousin Andy, God love him, he and his wife just bought, I guess they've had it for a little while. They bought a condo somewhere in Hawaii. And he said, why don't you guys come out? So I will be there.
Okay.
I just haven't been yet.
You've got the hookup.
I got the hookup.
So our old manager, audio video manager at the Family Arena and at St. Charles County, he and his wife, when he retired, they moved to Hawaii.
Wow.
And they used to vacation there. They loved it. They got to know the locals.
It's like
They
Dave
found
Murray.
a thing. Yeah. It's like, hey, we could live in paradise. Let's live in paradise.
So
good for you.
So we stayed in Lahaina, which is obviously
Bless you.
where the Maui wildfires heavily affected the area last year. And
is it built back partially?
It's not entirely built back. They have cleared pretty much all of the debris from all of the homes, but we did a little bit of research on it. $5.5 billion worth of damage to that area. Over 100 people dead. And what was the other? 2,200 homes destroyed. I mean, it was driving through that it was very ghost towny, like give you chills down your spine, just knowing the amount of damage. that it did to that area. So that was definitely very sad. Actually, also a kind of a cool thing is the Maui Invitational basketball tournament. It's probably the second biggest tournament in college basketball behind March Madness.
Yeah.
It starts today, actually.
Oh, no way.
And Michigan
Arkansas played in that a couple of years ago.
So Michigan State is my team, and I didn't even realize it. They're playing in it, and they stayed a couple of minutes down the road from where
you could have
we
gone
were.
by.
So, and we went to the gym and checked it out, and they had some cool little kiosks and
Nice.
tables set up with some merch. So we got a little bit of merch. But no, that was just a cool little side thing. Maui. If you have the chance to go, I highly recommend it. Saw over 50 sea turtles. We saw whales. It was unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a fun way to spend your honeymoon.
No
That's
doubt.
so much better than where did we go? It was down
Clearly
by.
it was memorable.
Well, it was a long flipping time ago, man.
This is not impressive.
Let's just say. So east of Destin in Florida on the Panhandle. It's where everybody used to go for spring break. They
Panama
don't go
City
there anymore.
Beach.
You mean besides
Panama City Beach.
There you
That's
go.
That's still the spring break.
Is it
spot.
really?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I thought that was back in the day. So we went to Panama City Beach because we was Po back then.
Well,
so much
Ethan
has
apparently
changed
is not Poe. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa.
Ah.
That's all I'll say.
Gotta love it. Hey, my dad agreed to pay for our condo. That's why we went to Panama
that's
City Beach.
nice.
It was nice. I was the overnight guy at KSD back then. So obviously I was making zero money.
You were as Poe as you should have been.
Exactly.
Where did you
I
go
deserved
to?
it.
I haven't gone, so
Oh.
I will report back to you.
Okay.
When she goes, she will let you know, but she ain't telling you ahead of time where she's gonna go. I love that. Hey, it's Mike Elam for Marc Reardon today. Big headlines that are coming out of today. Jack Smith is dropping all charges. Who saw that coming, right? I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but for the fact that it happened today, that was a pretty big one. Dave Murray is giving you weather updates, obviously, at the top of every hour. We're going to talk to Dave tomorrow a little bit because everybody's talking about holiday travel. Over 80 million people are going to travel around the United States this week. And they're saying that some of that weather could get kind of bad. So we're going to catch up with Dave tomorrow to find out a little bit more about that. But that holiday weather topic, I hate winter. Can I just share that with you?
Okay.
Go ahead.
My mother always said as more time went on, because she grew up in Pennsylvania, there was snow everywhere.
Yeah.
She said, the older I get, the more I think I'm over this winter thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. We can still snow. It's still fun. I find I'm kind of getting the same way. Why do I need it to be super cold and windy and awful? If I want to go somewhere like that, I could visit. So I get it.
That's why the state of Florida is about to double in population over the next few months, right?
Yes.
Everybody's going down there. Although, I have a friend of mine, Lisa Bowie, who used to own Bowie Funeral Homes, right?
Okay.
So Lisa had a place down in Florida that they ended up, she and Monty are selling their Florida place, going to Arizona.
Oh, that's interesting.
No hurricanes in Arizona.
I was going to okay.
Yep. Got tired of the, hey, we've been through this a little much.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of it. Let's go somewhere else. I'm just tired
That's
of the cold,
interesting.
and we're just starting.
I know.
Like yesterday, I went out and mowed the grass for hopefully the last time, he said, knocking on wood, the last time this year to be done with that. So I got the lawn all down to a low level so we can get
Okay.
into winter, right? So everything's good. And it was 70 degrees yesterday. It was gorgeous,
Yeah,
right?
it was
Today,
beautiful.
I'm like, it's flipping cold again. And
Okay.
I'm looking at the weather, and this is about as warm as it's going to get for a while.
It's supposed to be 29 tonight.
That's just.
I know.
You know what our big thing was over the weekend?
No.
We put the electric blanket on the bed.
Oh, there you go.
I got to tell you, so my old, and you'll remember this name, Sue, Dean Mutter.
Yeah,
So-
Dean Mutter.
My old general manager from Charter Spectrum days, Dean and I were talking one day about electric blankets, and he's like, I don't get it. And I said, there is nothing like on a cold night before you get into bed.
It's the pre-warm.
It's the pre-warm. You turn that electric blanket on
Yes.
and warm up those sheets, and then you hop into bed. When you're chilly already and it's cold in the house, you hop into bed. I will turn the blanket off as soon as I get in.
Yeah.
But I want that pre-warm.
I get you.
Because throughout the night, you get hot. So, You turn on that. Oh man, that's like warm pudding.
So warm pudding. So am I
I'm not
crazy?
sure that's a positive.
I'm just,
That's
you
kind of
know,
what I was thinking.
you haven't had that hot chocolate pudding that's all warm when you first make it. Never mind.
No, I like the cold version. I don't like the warm version.
Yeah, I agree.
All right,
Yeah.
Bill Cosby.
So
Moving on.
I am maybe in the minority on this. I like it freezing when I sleep. I still, even last night, 2 fans on in my room.
No.
as I'm sleeping.
We're not saying we're anti-cold sleeping.
Yeah,
We
not-
like a cold room. This is what
yeah,
I
cold
think,
room,
Cold
yes.
room.
Okay.
Cold room.
But warm bed. So
Okay.
if you turn that thing on, you slide in warm, you turn it off, and then you turn on the fans, and you're good to go.
Got it.
And
okay.
and do
I
all
wanna
of the
clarify.
above. It seems really stupid, and it may be, but there is nothing that puts me to sleep faster than sliding into those warm sheets. And this is, let's get to know Mike way too much. How about that? It is Thanksgiving week. I hope you're having a short week if you're working at all this week. A lot of people, according to my office, have taken a lot of this week off. It's great because most people get Thursday and Friday off. Most people get that. At least that's what I'm told. So if you take 3 days this week, you get 5 days off. It turns out to be a really nice vacation term. So a lot of people are going to do that. So Jack Smith dropped the charges. The holiday weather's going to get chilly. The Menendez kids thought maybe they were going to get released on December 11th. Upon further review, George Gascon is going to be out at the end of this year. And the new prosecuting attorney out in Los Angeles has said, I'd like to look at this before we let these boys walk. So that's going to be June 30th now is their new time that sentencing is going to happen. And I was reading an article earlier, Tom Holman is the new guy who's going to be in charge of the border. And I am reading all this stuff about Border Patrol, and ICE agents are just fired up about Tom Holman coming in and being in charge of this.
That's nice.
These poor Border Patrol
right?
agents have been treated like crap and disrespected by this administration for the last 4 years. Remember when they were beating migrants when they were on horses with those leashes?
Oh, yeah.
Although they weren't.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only problem. I mean, in video, you see, no, they're slapping the horses with the reins to try and get them to move and keep control, but they weren't slapping migrants with it. But yet, that's what the narrative was. I'm like, we can see the video, right? So I guess facts don't matter, as we've learned over the last 4 years. So we're going to actually have a secure border. I honestly believe that is going to happen. So real quick story, and then we're going to have Chad Perkins is going to join us. He's the incoming Speaker Pro Tem for the Missouri House. He will take over at the 1st of January in the one of the top 3 leadership roles that we have there in House. Chad is a radio guy. He does a morning radio show up in Pike County. So we're going to chat with him for a little bit. But last Tuesday, I was on with Dave Glover, and he does his version of the roundtable. They call it the think tank that they have over there, right?
Yep.
So this nice young state rep he represents Clayton, Warson Woods, Ladue, nice young guy, but hardcore liberal. And he was talking about how fearful he is that, get this, he really believes this, honestly. This could have been our last election we're ever going to have because Donald Trump is going to take over. He's going to be a dictator. He said it. He said he's going to be a dictator.
Like,
oh, my Lord.
What?
So
we are not working with the same information.
We get off the air, and we're leaving the station, and I said,
That's
Ian,
not possible.
Ian, you don't really believe that, do you? Like, I mean, that was just for the show,
Yeah.
right? You didn't really
Oh,
believe
no, he
that.
thinks that.
He goes, I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned that this is going to happen and he's never going to leave.
How is that going to happen? We have 3 branches of government. I mean, none of that it's not a rational thought.
Same thing. I said, do you realize how many things would have to fall into place?
Right.
This is not a third world country,
No.
right? We're one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced nation on the planet. And there are a lot of folks who are senators and representatives that would like to continue to be senators and representatives. I guarantee you, when we get 4 years down the road and January 20th rolls around, if Trump did say, I'm not leaving. They'd be like, no, buddy, we
Yes,
got a
you are.
helicopter waiting for you. We're going to pick your happy ass up and carry you to the helicopter and
Yep.
go spin Reardon. I've loved you. See you, bye. Right?
Yep, that's exactly
that's
right.
just how it's going to go. I shake my head at some of these folks, and I'm like, Lord help you. As we used to say in the South, bless your heart. Bless your heart. You're just so confused. I hope that bless your heart. Things are going to be okay. Hey, we are going to talk to Chad Perkins on the other side of the break. I hope you are staying warm and you're dealing with this climate change issue that we're having. How about that? It's just to make the liberals a little happier. Look at that. It gets warm. It gets cold. You know what that's called? Temperature change. Happens, I don't know, seasonally in St. Louis. We're going to talk with Chad on the other side. It's Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon today on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
Follow Mark on Twitter at Mark Reardon KFTK and Instagram at Mark Talk. This is the Mark Reardon Show. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
It's windy out there, and we're having a temperature change, but as far as traffic goes, we actually look pretty good. Now, if you are taking westbound 70 out of downtown, there's a little bit of moderate volume at Jennings Station Road. Looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras, 64, a little bit of moderate volume from Hampton out through McCausland. A little bit at Ballas as well. Eastbound slowing at 270. Northbound 270 in good shape. Southbound has some moderate volume in pockets from Page down through the Clayton Road overpass, but then it opens up. Southbound 55 slowing right around at the southern end of the work zone, so Rivas Barracks. And if you're headed into Illinois, we look fine on the bridges downtown. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 324 at 97.1 FM Talk.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Running a small business takes endurance, determination, and the right support to reach your goals. And MasterCard is here to help fuel that journey in a fast-paced digital world. With innovative tools and resources, we're here to guide businesses every step of the way digitally. Because when small business wins, everyone wins. Let's power up our communities one small business and one step at a time. Keeping the community running strong, priceless.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
$326 this time check, sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
Responder Rescue is serving area first responders, and all this month they're hosting an ATF raffle. Marc Cox here. Join us in supporting Responder Rescue as part of our First Responder Spotlight. Learn more at 971talk.com.
Mark Reardon on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
It is the Mark Reardon Show. Mike Elam sitting in for Mark today. Ethan's here. Sue is here. The whole crew is here. Fred is not with us today. Fred is on vacation this week.
Yeah, he's in the Cayman Islands.
You got to love that.
Yeah.
Sue, you and I are missing out.
Yes.
Caymans, Hawaii.
Yeah. We got bubkiss.
Yeah.
We po.
Exactly. We owed her. So that's what's going on. My daughter came home this weekend. She's 2 weeks away from being done with college. This semester, and then she's doing her last semester online.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to be home all next semester.
Well, that's nice.
I think
guess.
so.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's say that. Cautiously optimistic about her being home. We shall see how that works out. I think it's going to be good. She was telling my wife the other day that she's not sure how she feels about coming back home.
Well, why did she choose to do the online thing? Do we know?
She's ready to be done.
Yeah, she's
at school. She's hit that point of the college experience.
Yeah,
she's kind of like done.
Okay.
Had that.
I get that.
Kind of through with it, so she's ready to move on from there. So we'll see how this works out. Are we? No, okay. Just wanted to make sure. So Ethan is working on connecting with Chad and getting him all hooked up here, and we will catch up with him. Did you see this news about how Jack Smith has decided to drop all the charges?
Tell me about it.
So, Jack Smith was the guy who was prosecuting Trump, that he was the big threat to democracy.
Yeah.
You may have missed that. I know it didn't get talked about very much.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But why did he drop?
Well, they knew that this was going to happen, right? It had already come out, and the Department of Justice has a long-standing policy that says you cannot prosecute a sitting president.
And why? This is why it just boggles my mind that he kept doubling down.
I agree. Even after the Supreme Court said,
yes,
look, all these things off the table.
Yes.
And a lot of the stuff that they had, it pretty much took it out of play.
It did.
So it's like, okay, you can't blame him for any of the January 6th stuff.
No.
Which, by the way, the state rep that I was on with at the other station, January 6th stuff, that was
the big thing.
He was overthrowing the government for all that.
Oh.
And I said, you know who cares about January 6th stuff? People who have Trump derangement syndrome. And he actually said, I have Trump derangement syndrome.
He did.
He did. He admitted it. He said,
that's interesting.
I have TDS. And for a second, he didn't say Trump derangement syndrome at first. And I went, TDS, what is that? I have ADD, but I don't know what that is.
Maybe that prevents you from knowing what TD is.
Probably. So then he came back and he actually he laid it out and said, I have Trump derangement syndrome. And I was like, God help you. You really do.
Wow.
Like, you're just eat up with this. Donald Trump lives in these people's heads rent-free 365 days a year.
Well, it truly is a shame. And they've just bought all that stuff they were sold on regular media. That's the only thing I can think.
I had the girl who was the valedictorian of my high school in Berryville, Arkansas. Very smart lady. She actually is here in St. Louis now. She's a medical researcher with WashU, and she is all kinds of smart, right? Mm-hmm. So she actually sent me a note after the election and said, you got to help talk me through this. I am super worried about where this is going to go.
Well, that's nice that she reached out and said, hey,
she was
walk me through it.
Seriously worried, though, about that whole thing.
Were you able to help?
Somewhat.
Okay.
I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Did we get everything worked out with Chad? Chad, are you there?
Mike, I tell you, it's great to be with you. I love hearing what you said about Jack Smith. They say the first step to getting over a problem is admitting you have one.
This is very true. I talk about that on a regular basis when I go into the county council meetings, like I will later on tonight. It's like,
it's so frustrating when they're like, it's an insurrection, and I'm just like, come on, give us a little credit.
Right.
If we were looking to mount an insurrection, we would have done a lot better than that.
Yeah. I mean, really, that was the insurrection of you saw everybody. You had plenty of time to do something about it. And as they started walking to you, I don't know, you could have maybe stopped them.
It looked more like peaceful protesting.
Yes, it looked like people who didn't have weapons, first of all. If I'm going to do an insurrection, I'm probably going to bring a weapon with me.
Exactly.
It does make it easier. Hey, so for folks who don't know, you were a member of the Missouri House of Representatives, and you are District
40. That's Pike in Lincoln County.
There you go. So, which I have a special place in my heart for because my mother grew up in Louisiana, Missouri. So I have lots and lots of family there. It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous river town.
Until the Mississippi floods. Then downtown's not quite as gorgeous. But I do have an awful lot of relatives. If you were Phillips up in Louisiana, I'm probably kin to you. If you're a Hallows in Louisiana, probably kin to you. So that's the family we have there. But Missouri House just did new leadership elections, and you were elected as the Speaker Pro Tem for the House of Missouri. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. It's an awfully nice title with a slightly bigger office, but it doesn't really come with a whole lot of more responsibilities, right? It's like people say, what's a Speaker Pro Tem do? I guess it's like being vice president or lieutenant governor, not a whole lot of additional responsibility.
As long as everything goes well with the people who have the other jobs, there's not a whole lot for you to do. But in the event that someone cannot fulfill their duties, you will be able to step in and take over.
Yeah. It's like being the first runner-up in a Miss America pageant, I suppose.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Your flowers aren't quite as pretty, but we still think you're a beauty anyway.
Everybody calls you Mr. Speaker except for the actual speaker, I suppose.
Who reminds you that you're not. So
that's exactly right.
But with you have brand new leadership that's coming into play. I was talking with somebody one time about the Missouri legislature. The state of Missouri, I guess, is the only $50 billion a year company you will ever run into that has a 2-year business plan. Because that's really about as far as you can go. Every 2 years, you're going to change that leadership over, or in Missouri's case, sometimes even faster. But you're going to change that over. So long-range planning is really not the strength of Missouri legislature because the leadership does change over so much. But now that you have the new folks, go ahead.
That's the thing about term limits as well, right? You get 8 years in the House. You might get another 8 years in the Senate. And so, in all reality, Mike, if we're being frank about that, what term limits has done is it's empowered that long-term institutional knowledge to folks who aren't accountable to the voters. Really, in all honesty, what it has done is empowered the bureaucracy of Missouri. Because that's what ends up happening is bureaucrats just end up waiting you out. And I think when term limits came about, they came about with good intentions, but really what it ended up doing was empowering the bureaucracy.
I agree completely. I'm actually a fan of, and I wish we could get it to the voters and see if the voters would be willing to relook at this. But to your point, you can do 8 in the House, you can do 8 in the Senate. So 16 total if you termed all the way through. I would really prefer that we look at 16 however you want to spend them. If you can do 16 in the House,
far
great.
More sense.
At least it gives us consistency.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because right now we just don't have that in Missouri government.
No, we don't, and it does make the long-term planning a little difficult. It makes the long-term institutional knowledge sparse when it comes to people who are actually accountable to voters.
But now you've got where you could term out, and then what is it right now? 6 months you have to sit on the sideline, and then you can become a lobbyist?
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying I have no intention on ever becoming a lobbyist.
You being the general you, not you, Chad Perkins. Sorry.
No, me, Chad Perkins. I have no intention on being a lobbyist, right? When my days are over in the Missouri House or Senate, I look forward to going back to doing my own private job. So
there you go. And people can hear you on what radio station up there?
So, well, it's funny you should ask, right? So this is my 30th year in radio. I've never worked in talk radio. I have been in country radio for 30 years and currently with KJFM up here in Bowling Green in Louisiana.
There you go. So it's always good to have another radio guy on. Brad Hildebrand would be very proud of me for having another radio guy on the radio.
Well, it's good of him to do that. We're 37 minutes into the 3 o'clock hour on a overcast Monday afternoon here on 97.1.
We're playing stacks and stacks of hot wax of all your conservative talk favorites. This is awesome. Hey, I do want to talk to you, though, with the new leadership that's coming in. What is going to be the top priority for the Missouri legislature as we start this new session in January?
We've got 3 or 4 things we want to get accomplished, I think, for certain. And then, of course, you end up seeing what ends up materializing as the session goes on. But I think certainly you're going to look for the House to prioritize some things regarding the passage of Amendment 3, right? Amendment 3 was, for lack of a better term, the abortion amendment that came to the House.
Right.
We're going to do some things with that. The law allows us to define terms. There were a lot of terms in that amendment that were not clear. I mean, what does the term fetal viability mean? Well, I think the legislature has a responsibility to define that. I think we'll also want to get out ahead of what does the mental health of the mother mean? Those are things we need to address. I think you're going to look at us at us doing all the things we can to curb the effects of the passage of Amendment 3, including probably passing an HJR, a House Joint Resolution, to put it back on the ballot so that Missourians get another chance to look at that. Because, the thing is, when it passes on the ballot, the House is to some degree, the House and Senate, have to, I guess, to some degree kind of, stay within those bounds. But at the same time, we have a responsibility to our voters who did not want these things to happen, right, to curtail their effect as much as possible. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to address those things in that manner and try to curtail those things. And I think we ought to put it back on the ballot so that Missourians get another shot at changing the outcome of Amendment 3. I also think you'll see us tackle maybe income tax, Missouri state income tax, right? So we've brought down income tax dramatically over the last 3 or 4 years. Look for us to continue to bring down income tax, hopefully to a point where Missouri has no state income tax. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, Mike. Look at what Texas and Tennessee does. Look at the things that Florida does. They've got a lot of successful tax policies. All we have to do is kind of steal the good ideas that are already out there and implement them here in Missouri.
I heard Mike Kehoe talking about this quite a bit on the campaign trail. And he was saying, look, this isn't going to be, in 2025, we have income tax. 2026, it's gone. This is going to be a plan that would be phased out over a course of time. And I think for the sake of argument, because I don't remember completely, but I think he was talking about maybe a 10-year time frame that it would be phased out. Does that sound like the type of plan that you're talking about?
It sounds exactly like the type of plan we're talking about. It's great to have a governor with Mike Kehoe that's 100% on board with our conservative priorities. Our priorities and his are very much in line, and it's really refreshing to have that partnership between the legislature and the governor. And so look for that to be a priority. It's the tax revenues. I mean, Reagan proved this, right? You bring down taxes, tax revenues actually end up going up because people spend more of that money in the market like they're supposed to. And so, we know these things work. Look for some other things to happen. If you recall, we passed a SAPA a few years ago, the Second Amendment Preservation Act. It got some court challenges. The court struck it down. We need to do some things to come back in and fix that and make that where it can pass through the court system, but certainly to respect the Second Amendment, to push for those Second Amendment rights as much as possible. Look for that to happen as well. I think you're going to see something. We got an incoming freshman out of Jefferson County, Bill Lucas, going to be a great new freshman member. He said to me the other day, he said, what happens when you got a city or a county or a school district, some public entity that is a sanctuary for illegals, a sanctuary city, sanctuary county, whatever it might be. He said, what if we had some legislation that said, if you're a sanctuary city, a sanctuary county, a sanctuary school, if you're doing those things, you don't get state money. I said, I love it. Let's do it. So he's working on that legislation right now. That's common sense legislation. They say, what can a state do regarding the border crisis? Because the fact is, President Trump's right. Every state is a border state at this point. well, that's something the state can do, isn't it?
It is. Hey, Chad, can you do me a favor? Since we had some problems connecting with you earlier, can you hold on with me through the break and come back on the other side and continue this conversation?
Be glad to.
That's awesome. This is Chad Perkins. He's the incoming Speaker Pro Tem of the Missouri House of Representatives, and we're going to continue this conversation with him. Mike Elam sitting in today for Mark Reardon on St. Louis's home for conservative talk on 97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Mark Reardon Show. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Looks like we've got an accident on 44 as you approach 270. Either that or it's road work. They've got the right lane blocked there, and they've got the arrows, and they're keeping you out of the right lane. So if you are headed toward on 44 toward 270, it is causing a delay. Southbound 55, some volume in the construction zone down at Rivas Barracks, but it's not bad to the south of there. There was a little bit of moderate volume south of Z, but nothing too terrible. And that's kind of what we're seeing this afternoon. Westbound 70 looks fine. There's a little bit of volume past Lambert Airport, but then it opens up, and it's only moderate volume. 64 is a slow go near Hampton, out through McCausland. Then it's slowing on either side of Lindbergh, but out west it looks okay. And southbound 270, slow pockets of moderate volume, and that's from Page down through Doherty Ferry, and then things open up and look fine. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 344 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Wrap up your holiday shopping with Jewelry Television. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles and gifts for women and men. Shop on TV or online. Plus, new JTV customers save up to $50 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Let's talk about your nutrition. Do you always eat the right stuff? Of course you don't. I start my day off every morning with an Entenmann's donut. It used to be donuts by Hostess. I switched it around sometime in the past 8 months or so. For that very reason, because I'm not always eating great stuff. Sue's awesome because she doesn't eat sugar. She's very smart. I eat a lot of sugar. I want to balance some of that off with great daily nutritional support for energy, for my immune system, and overall well-being, and that's Neovite vitamins. They have an entire lineup of options for you, from the regular formula, the regular women's formula, women's 50+, men's 50+, and the Neovite fish oil tablets, which I used to refer to as new, but they've been out for several years now. You can buy all these vitamins in stores. They even have a store locator up on the website, but the better way to do it is save some money this way. You get signed up for the Neovite newsletter as well, which gives you all kinds of tips on nutrition. You can subscribe, and they ship them to your door every month. You can cancel or pause at any time. Some of the money goes to cancer research here in St. Louis. Check out Neovite today to get started. That's neovite.com.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know what you're going through. Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. Hey, Marc Cox here. If you need to sell and buy at the same time, this is for you. Gloria Lou has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program. That gets you the most money possible for your current home and allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles. Gloria Lou makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. Why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com, 314-325-6888 or gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Have I got a knockout deal for you? Go to STLGunsandHoses.com to get tickets for the biggest party of the year at Enterprise Center the night before Thanksgiving and help the families of our fallen first responders. Be there for the 37th Budweiser Guns N' Hoses presented by Stiefel. Join us for an unforgettable night of boxing, MMA, and entertainment, including country legend George Strait's musical tribute to first responders. Come join the party Thanksgiving Eve.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Tom Ackerman. Jim Montgomery, one of the best coaches in the league, very successful and very well respected around here. They think extremely highly of him, and it's a very good choice.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
On St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Mark Reardon on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
So Mike Elam sitting in today for Mark, and thanks to Chad Perkins, he's holding on with us. He is the incoming Speaker Pro Tem for the Missouri House of Representatives, District 40, right, Chad?
That's right, Pike and Lincoln County, Mike, and I love doing radio interviews. You know, here I am in the home office with my suit and tie on. I am definitely not wearing shorts and a T-shirt in the lazy boy right now.
Why would that be, right? You wouldn't. That of course would never happen.
No, it's a radio interview, but you would really never know the difference, I suppose.
You know, the funny thing about radio these days is we're very video. So you can watch us on Facebook, you can watch us on YouTube, and you've got all this stuff. And we've got all these cool little Ring cameras that are around. So when I take a picture, it looks like I have a halo over my head, which, you know, I need all the help I can get, Chad. Let's be honest, right?
It's been 30 years. I got into radio when I was in high school, and when I was a kid, you know, the magic of radio just, you know, enthralled me. And we're 30 years into it, and I'm just still love radio. There's something special about it.
Sue, wouldn't you say that that's the same thing for you?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in this for a long, long time.
Yep.
I started doing radio when I was 15 in Berryville, Arkansas.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I know. So
I was 15 also.
There you go. Board hopping Cardinal baseball games was my first job in radio. And then I ended up working at KMOX, and I was like, well, that life just worked full circle, didn't it? And I moved to St. Louis to work for 97.1, and it was a top 40 station back then.
Oh, my gosh.
And now we're doing talk radio, conservative talk radio, which is good. So it's funny how life has a way of coming back to you and just giving you new opportunities to grow and improve. And that's kind of what's going on with you guys as we go back to the House. We're growing and improving and all kinds of new stuff. So just to recap for folks, you were talking about top priorities for the House. We're going to try and clean up some what I'll call gray areas on Amendment 3. On those cleanups that you do those have to go back to the voters, or can the legislature define some of those things, like fetal viability? Does that have to go back to the voters, or can you guys do that?
You know, those are things that the legislature not only can it do, but it has a responsibility to do.
There you go.
And so we're going to do that, because the fact is, Mike, if we don't, the court's going to.
Right.
So I would rather us have a shot at it before the court got a chance to. And then, of course, not only will we stop there, but I think you see a concerted effort by both sides of the legislature, the House and the Senate, to put it back on the ballot as soon as possible, so that Missourians have an opportunity to have another crack at that issue, and hopefully, completely overturn the outcome of that. Amendment 3 was a terrible, terrible piece of legislation. Not only the pro-choice aspect of it, but those aspects regarding parental rights when it comes to the transgender issue with their children, right? So just the entire piece of legislation was awful. Maybe the worst piece, not legislation, but constitutional amendment, maybe the worst one I've ever seen.
It reminded me a lot of Clean Missouri. And I had this discussion with Scott Fawn before it got voted on, before the election. And I said, I really think Amendment 3 is going to pass because people don't read past the headlines. That's right. They just, and in this election, I get it. There was so much going on that it was really hard to really dig in and find out a lot of things that were there for the general public. If you're somebody who's really into it, you were going to dig into it and you were going to find it. And every time that I filled in, we had somebody talking about the details of this to try and inform people, hey, here's something when you get beyond the headlines, what's really in this bill. But it reminded me of the Clean Missouri bill because Clean Missouri really sold it on we're going to clean up politics and we're going to take all this hidden stuff and we're going to put sunlight on it. And that was far from what Clean Missouri did. Clean Missouri did all kinds of other stuff. It passed, and in the immortal words of Nancy Pelosi, we've got to pass this so we can find out what's in it. And that's what happened with Clean Missouri. And the voters said, no. I didn't mean that. I didn't want that. So then after it passed, they went back and said, okay, here's a second bite of the apple, and we're going to do that. And I told Scott Fawn, I really believe that Amendment 3 is probably going to pass because of the reasons I just said. But once Missourians find out everything else that's in it, I think they're going to come back and go, wait, I didn't want that. And I think they're going to appreciate having a second bite of the apple for this.
Don't you love visiting with Scott about the issues? I mean, the guy just has a read on so many issues across the state of Missouri, and his take on it is generally spot on.
Well, he gets the opportunity in that F-150 tour. He gets the opportunity to sit in a cab and talk to an awful lot of people across the state of Missouri, many of them who sit in your seat, who are the decision makers of what's going on. So he kind of cheats a little by talking to the people
that's true too.
who are going to be voting on this. So he has a tendency to do that. He didn't necessarily agree with me on how this was going to work, but I think he may agree now. We shall see.
Yeah. Anytime I get a chance to visit with him, I just enjoy the heck out of it. He certainly has a way of expressing himself that's a little different than a lot of folks.
This is true. Hey, Chad, I gotta run on a hard break here, but I appreciate you staying with us. I appreciate the opportunity and look forward to visiting with you in Jeff City as session gets going.
My pleasure. We look forward to seeing you. Why don't you come on down for inauguration night on the 13th of January?
That sounds like a party. We will make that happen. That is Chad Perkins, the House Pro Temp, coming in for Missouri House of Representatives. Mike Elam in for Marc Reardon today on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Marc Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. View of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we do have a few things to mention on the roads, but it's mainly just volume. If you are southbound on 55, we have slow pockets south of Arsenal down through Rivas Barracks, and there's a little bit of a slowdown, just moderate volume either side of Highway Z. Now, we do have moderate volume out of downtown. If you happen to be taking 64, it's a just moderate volume approaching Hampton out through McCausland on either side of Lindbergh and a little bit past 94. Now, 70 looks fine. Fine out of downtown, better past the airport, and then things open up. There's still some moderate volume on southbound 270, and that's from Page down through Doherty Ferry. We've got eastbound 40 slowing at Big Bend and just a little bit near 14th Street headed for the Poplar Street Bridge, but it's fine on the bridge itself. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 356 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember, Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right, they handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-296-3315. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-296-3315. 800-296-3315 or oxcarcare.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you're looking for all the comforts of home plus some in a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville, just off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. They'll even treat you to lunch. Set up your appointment today and tell them Marc Cox sent you. WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Case dismissed. I'm Lisa Brady. A federal judge just granting a request to toss out the federal election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump, just hours after special counsel Jack Smith filed the motion for dismissal after Trump's election win. But Smith wrote that prohibition on prosecuting sitting presidents is categorical and is not about the gravity of the charges, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of prosecution.
A similar filing was made to the U.S. Appeals Court overseeing a case charging the president-elect with mishandling classified documents after he left office. In a statement, a spokesman for the Trump transition team says the decision by the Justice Department ends the unconstitutional federal cases and is a major victory for the rule of law.
Fox's Jared Halpern, the classified documents case had been tossed out by a different judge earlier this year, but Smith was appealing that decision. The U.S. pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon.
We believe we're close. The conversations that Amos had were very positive.
National Security Communications Director John Kirby referring to a U.S. envoy. Israel's cabinet reportedly planning a possible vote tomorrow. A pair of turkeys from Minnesota winning a pardon from President Biden.
And today, Peach and Blossom will join the free birds of the United States of America.
Continuing a decades-old tradition at the White House, where he also reflected on his final Thanksgiving as president, calling it the honor of his life and saying he's forever grateful. First Lady Jill Biden presiding over a different holiday tradition for the final time, welcoming the White House Christmas tree this year from a farm in western North Carolina, a region devastated by Hurricane Helene.
The Cartner family lost
thousands of trees in the storm.
Paying tribute to the family's resilience and accompanied by grandson Bo for that ceremony. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of clouds, temperatures dropping through the 40s for evening plans. The northwest wind is back, clearing skies overnight. Let's keep it windy really all night long, going down to 27. Tuesday, sunshine giving way to increasing clouds, 45. Tuesday night, clouds and 39. Wednesday, clouds, some rain showers developing Wednesday afternoon, a chilly 46. Periods of rain and some sloppy wet snow possible Wednesday night. Thursday looks dry. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Chris Akonis with Your Money Now. Shaping up to be a record Thanksgiving travel weekend across the U.S. According to AAA, almost 80 million Americans are expected to drive for 50 or more miles between tomorrow and next Monday. Drivers can also expect to pay less at the pump, as the national average for gas prices is under $3 a gallon for the first time since 2021. Also a record day on Wall Street as the Dow Jones Industrial Average set a new record high after climbing 440 points today. Other stock averages are also on the rise, with the S&P finishing up 18 points and the Nasdaq gaining 51. Intel is close to finalizing a deal for an $8 billion grant from the Biden administration's CHIPS Act, according to CNBC. Once the move is finalized, the money will help pay for Intel's efforts to build new factories. Sources say the current administration is looking to complete the funding before President-elect Trump takes office in January. Intel shares closed up 1.5%. That's Your Money Now.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts.
It's Mark Reardon. I want you to visit New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring if you have any kind of needs for an assisted living, independent living, or memory care facility. It's brand new next to Persimmon Woods Golf Course, not too far from Progress West Hospital. And, of course, that location gives you easy access to Highway 6440, and it is just beautiful. 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. They have great common areas, an unbelievable meal plan, and a lot of fun. You know, outings. They're going to keep people busy. If you have family members interested and you're looking for a great new location, it's New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. Easy way to find out is just go to the website. N as in Nancy, P as in Paul, seniorliving.com. You can find out everything about what they have to offer with the apartments, 1- and 2-bedroom, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. They are beautiful, big walk-in closets, right? You want all the amenities that they have to offer. I promise you that. Take a tour today. Get on over there. See what they have at New Perspective Senior Living. Call 888-229-2298 or online, npseniorliving.com.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession. It's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. Our attorneys will hold truck drivers and owners accountable. We stand up to big trucking companies to get you the compensation you deserve. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. Imagine what you could do with $50,000. Pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off auto loans. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. There's no out-of-pocket costs, so call today and make no payments until next year. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Hey, it's Annie. Let me tell you about why Cassins & Sons Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has earned the Fry family's repeat business. We are currently driving a Jeep and a Pacifica from Cassins. We know that when we shop at Cassins, we are getting fantastic vehicles at great prices and the service to back it up. The website is CassinsSons.com. That's CassinsSons.com. And if you're looking for a vehicle, look no further than Cassins & Sons Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Just off 270, a mile up north on 159. You can call them at 618-800-2712. CassInSons.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Marc Reardon Show.
On 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Starting off your holiday week. Hope you get to leave early on Wednesday. Do they do like a Thanksgiving thing here on the day before?
We already had that. It was last week.
Oh, that explains a whole bunch of cupcakes that's in the kitchen right now.
How was the food, Sue? I just got here at the end, so
it was picked over.
It was picked over by the time I got here.
To see it.
Sorry about that.
You know, we used to have a thing at a radio station that I used to work at here in town where John Kiowski would come in and play the carver of the turkey, and he had a whole what's it called, apron on that he would carve it up, and we did that like the day before Thanksgiving. But I don't really I haven't worked anywhere since then that's done that. Everybody's kind of been like the week before because so many people take this week off.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I one time for a Christmas gift from the company got a turkey.
I had one of those one time. Yeah.
And it was kind of nice.
I used to get a Schnucks gift certificate,
nice.
A paper one that they gave to us that you would go exchange for a turkey or just use it for something else. It was it was $25 or $50, something like that.
Yes, it was not too shabby.
My son used to work for Lou Fuse, and Lou Fuse gave everybody turkeys. Like they gave you
physical turkey.
Physical turkey.
Wow,
that they
I'm
gave
impressed by that.
Yeah, good company. Took care of their people. It was really nice. Hey, I'm hoping later on today and tomorrow and sometime on Wednesday, I want to carve out some time, pardon the expression, to have a little Thanksgiving fun. We could do some different things like some trivia. We can figure out our turkey names.
Oh, I love mine so much.
There you go. So we'll do that. But they've got games on this website that I found called Healthy, Happy, Impactful, which I didn't know anything about it, but I was just searching. But they've got games like Would You Rather? So fun things you can do. And you can they even have some that are for kids. So you can do things like, hey, would you rather have a Thanksgiving feast with your favorite superhero or your favorite cartoon characters?
Right.
So, if you have the kids
Please
around.
Don't make me answer that.
No, but I'm saying for kids, right?
So, that's really sweet.
Would you rather have a turkey-shaped head or pumpkin-shaped feet?
That's a difficult one. I'm actually thinking about that.
It's like, well, I don't know.
I just can't stop thinking about the scene from Friends where is that Monica has the turkey?
Has the turkey on her head? Yes,
yeah,
exactly. There you go. Anyway, we'll play some of that, and we'll get that going a little bit later on. But in the meantime, it's time for Sue's News.
These allegations are deeply concerning.
Does the president have any comment?
We're not going to comment.
It's not clear messaging.
No.
And now, Sue's News. Brought to you by Sue.
Are you going anywhere for the holiday, Mike?
No, everybody's coming to my house.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm not going to Maui or the Caymans or anything.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Ethan, you're not cooking. You guys are the youngsters. You're going to somebody's house.
Yeah, we're Wednesday night after the shift here. We're driving up to Minneapolis.
Oh! I did not see that coming.
My wife is from the Minneapolis area.
Has it snowed there? Probably.
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Oh,
in fact,
God.
I actually asked earlier this week. I said, "Is there going to be snow on the ground?" I hope not.
Please no.
She's done that drive a couple of times. Before the holidays when driving in the middle of a blizzard, like one lane open on the interstate.
Wow!
I'll tell you
It's
what.
terrible. So, and I hate driving in like snowy conditions. It's by far my least favorite conditions.
It's actually probably going to be faster than flying because you'd be delayed 4 times.
Let
before
her
you get
drive.
there.
Just have her drive, and you can just look nervous.
I might.
Yeah,
I did the road to Hana. I did that.
Yeah,
so maybe it's her turn.
It's her turn.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's a
maybe
new
that's my
world.
excuse.
If she grew up there, she knows what she's doing.
Exactly.
All right, on this day in history, and I did not know this. Maybe at some point I did, but I had forgotten. When I read this today, I thought, what? 157 years ago today, in 1867.
1867.
Alfred Nobel patented dynamite.
I did not know that.
Now, the invention made him so rich, his will established a $9 million fund for the Nobel Prizes.
So that's where that comes from.
That's where that comes from, and I did not know that.
He went out with a bang.
Oh, my gosh.
It's kind of ironic that it's called the Nobel
Well,
Peace
I
Prize.
think that's why he did it. I think well, of course, I'm completely assuming this and taking over his thoughts. But in my mind, he thought, I should do something good to balance that out.
Yeah, I've been blowing stuff up all my life, so.
Right, so let's take a step back.
That's funny.
And on this day in history, 37 years ago, this movie came out. Can you tell us what it is, Mike Elam?
Plastic you carry.
We've got a Visa and a gasoline card. Well, I've got a Neiman Marcus card in case we want to buy a gift for someone. What have you got?
Chalmers Big and Tall Man Shop. It's a 7-outlet chain in the Pacific Northwest. Great stuff. Unfortunately, it does us no good here.
Oh, never mind.
Those aren't pillows. Would that be planes, trains, and automobiles?
Yes, I was trying to pull out something that wasn't pillows to see if you could get it, and you got it.
Where's your hand in between these two pillows? Those aren't pillows.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was released on this day in history in 1987.
Wow.
Starring Steve Martin and John Candy, if you couldn't tell there.
You weren't around in 87, were you?
No,
I've never heard of the movie.
Oh, my God.
You're
What?
kidding. You've never heard of that?
Never heard of
No.
it?
Oh,
Ethan.
In fact, all I know John Candy from is that scene in Home Alone.
That's it?
That's
it. P.S.
Uncle Buck?
You've got to watch Uncle Buck.
Yes. Uncle Buck
It's
never heard
awesome.
You'll love Uncle
Yes.
Buck. Here's a quarter. So
Yes.
a rat can gnaw that thing off your
Uncle
face.
Buck. Okay, Uncle Buck, got it.
Uncle
Oh,
Buck.
it's a classic.
It
and
is.
then, if you want to watch this one, it's fine, but I would start with Uncle Buck. All right, game show host Chuck Woolery passed away on Saturday. He was 83, no word on the cause of death, but he was the original host of Wheel of Fortune back in the late 70s. Yes. And he went on to host Scrabble. That was a game show in the 80s.
Love Connection.
And, of course, Love Connection. And that was 1983 to 1994. That's why so many of us, that was a hugely long run.
I did not know it went that long.
Okay, listen to this, Mike. This is the part I didn't know. He actually started off, Chuck Woolery did, as a musician.
No.
And he was in a folk group called the Bordermen and a psychedelic pop duo called the Avant-Garde, which had a hit called Naturally Stoned. This is Chuck Woolery singing, if you play.
They say grow up and put your mind on what you have to do.
Wow.
Right?
But I know I can never make it, baby, without you. I can get a good vibration when I put my mind on you alone.
Was this 60s? Sounds 60s.
It does sound 60s. Yeah, I would assume so. How about that?
Naturally Stoned?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yep.
It's making a comeback.
I mean, I just didn't know that existed or that he had that career. He apparently wrote some country song that Loretta Lynn actually recorded as well.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
he had a little career going doing that.
Chuck Woolery, every time we're getting ready to go to break, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
Oh, my gosh.
2 and 2.
Well, we've got a new report out that looked at how many calories people are going to down at the Thanksgiving table. This comes out every year. Some years I think I can't take it. But this year, all right, let's look at it. There is good news, of course, and I guess some bad news. The average American's caloric intake during the Thanksgiving meal is, Ethan, what is your guess?
Oh, geesh. I'm going to go with 1,800 calories.
Good guess. What, Mike Elam?
Well, if you eat like I normally eat, I'm going to say 4,000.
Closest is Ethan. It is 2,092 calories.
Wow.
Which doesn't seem that bad.
It doesn't.
You going to
Right?
hit the over on that this year, Mike Elam?
Well, not this year.
Not
I'm
this
eating a
year.
lot less this year. But in the past, I would go. So, do you guys do Thanksgiving dinner or do you do lunch?
I like a lunch.
I like a lunch,
1
too.
to 2.
I do. It probably is more of like a 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. by the
Yeah.
time
We
everything's
used to
done.
do a dinner, and I requested that we move it to a lunch. So now we do 1:30 because you
Yes.
eat all the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? Once you eat at like 1:30,
Yes.
you just keep eating for the rest of the day.
It's
I'm
true.
curious what most people do. I'm curious if most people do that lunch or if you do a dinner. Like, what do you do?
I believe this room was split when we brought this up before because I was the one who said, no, we got to eat at 1 or 2. The boys said, nope. See, crowd didn't like it either. And they wanted to eat it at dinner.
The timing is always amazing of that.
It really is, isn't it? No matter what we do.
No, because then you're done with dinner. You can sit down and you can at least watch the 3 o'clock game or 3:30
Right,
game
it's-
with Dallas and fall asleep by halftime.
Exactly.
Which this year the Cowboys have been doing all season, except for yesterday.
And
Steelers
they've been
have-
falling asleep at
Yeah,
halftime and going to sleep.
It's going to be even worse this year, just a heads up. 2 backup quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
starring the
That'll be
show.
exciting.
Tommy DeVito for the Giants and Cooper Rush for the Cowboys. So that is going to be a snoozer. So
Household name,
ready.
Sue. Household
Yeah,
name.
household
Get ready
name.
to unbuckle those pants and take a nap on the couch.
There you go.
Let's see. The average person will also be eating about 2,270 calories worth of leftovers.
Yes.
Nearly 40% of people say they'd eat a lot more than that. 27% said 300 calories in leftovers. 9% said 5,000 calories in leftovers. I guess that's a
See?
lot of turkey sandwiches.
Well, I was thinking you'd eat lunch and then you kind of graze for the rest of the day. So I guess my 4,000 calories was the afternoon.
I get it. All right, Wicked Part 1, of course, won at the box office this weekend. It opened to $114 million domestically.
We saw it on Saturday.
Oh, did you? Did you like it?
I did.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't realize until just recently that it was going to be a
Two-parter?
two-parter.
That's how
I
they
didn't
get
know
you.
that.
They call it Glicked because Gladiator 2 opened. That's their, yes.
That was across the hall.
And that did $55.5 million domestically. So not too terrible, but that's, But Glicked is supposed to really kind of take it up, and they expect it to do gangbusters over the holiday.
Yeah,
So
they
it's-
said this was the largest ever for a Broadway-inspired film.
Huh.
So Wicked had the biggest numbers ever.
So Glicked, I guess, is kind of the equivalent of Barbenheimer then?
Yeah, it's
Barbenheimer.
exactly what they
Okay.
call it.
Yep.
It's the,
Gotcha.
today's Barbenheimer.
How quickly they grow up.
Right? Comcast plans to spin off its cable networks, including MSNBC, CNBC, into a new publicly traded company this year. The new company will also include USA, Oxygen, the E! Channel, Sci-Fi, Golf Channel, generating around $7 billion in revenue annually. Comcast would like to keep NBC and Bravo. They're going to keep NBC and Bravo and just keep it as part of NBC Universal. And the spinoff aims to unshackle Comcast movie studio and theme parks from the declining cable TV business. See that.
There's a great video out there of Rachel Maddow on MSNBC reading a tweet talking about Elon Musk thinking about buying MSNBC. She had a meltdown and could not finish the end of her show.
I heard that happened.
Oh, I saw the video. She's just like, I can't, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I wonder what the viewership of her show particularly is. I don't think it's strong, which is why...
It's probably lower than the listenership of this radio station right now.
Oh, my gosh. That's not good.
That's not good.
Just going to go ahead and point that out. That's not good.
That's not good.
I'm going to save this one for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will discuss guy cry movies.
Guy cry movies?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The opposite of a chick film. Or maybe in the same. If it's not a chick flick, the guy version is guy cry films. So be thinking about what makes you two cry.
Oh, I already got
it. At the movie theater.
I'll give you a little kicker on this one. This is what I posted on my Facebook page earlier today. Don't forget to turn your bathroom scales back 15 pounds Wednesday night at 1 a.m. to get ready for Thanksgiving.
How many times can you do that in 1 month? Because I've already done it once.
You get a honeymoon 10 and a Thanksgiving 15.
Oh, my gosh.
You're down 25 pounds.
2025 is going to take a lot of dedication and hard work.
There you go.
It's a Christmas miracle.
That is awesome. That is Sue's News. We're going to do... Oh, sorry. My bad.
Fun fact?
Today's random fact is finally in Sue's News. I can't decide. I'll say that. Okay. Trampoline was originally a trademarked brand name. And the generic term was, ready for it? Rebound tumbler.
Rebound tumbler.
But trampoline eventually became genericized, like aspirin, Kleenex, thermos, and now it's just trampoline instead of rebound tumbler.
Which is what they would call the secondary boyfriend after you broke up.
Wow.
He's the rebound tumbler.
And that's it for Susan.
The random fact just never ceases to amaze me.
Right?
Amaze me.
You gotta love that. I'm
Oh,
sorry
bizarre.
for stepping in too early.
Oh, no.
That was a premature random fact.
No.
My bad. So there you go. Hey, we are going to talk a little elections on the other side. You're thinking, wait, didn't we have elections? We did. And next month, we're going to register for even more elections. Municipal elections are right around the corner. But let's find out how these went. Did you see anything different? We're going to talk with Kurt Bahr, who's the director of elections over in St. Charles County. We will do that on the other side. Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. View of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's an interesting commute every day this week, just because, are people out of town already? Are they not? We do have some volume looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. Southbound 55, south of Arsenal, down through Revis Barracks, and a little bit slow in the Peevely area in the work zone there. We've got southbound 270, slow pockets south of Page, and that goes down almost to Gravois. We've got westbound 44 looking pretty good. Now, there is some volume right at 270. Nothing too terrible. Boy, did we have westbound Manchester jammed. And this is approaching 141, pretty much out through Reese Road. 64, moderate volume from approaching Hampton out through McCausland. Little bit at Ballast, past 94, and at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70 looks great westbound out of downtown. And if you are headed into Illinois, there's a little moderate volume headed for the Poplar Street Bridge, but it looks fine on the bridge itself. This report brought to you by GHR Contracting. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 426 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
Well, you know, the holidays can be a tough time of year if you're going through the end of a marriage. There's no doubt about that. Susan L. Ward can absolutely help you. And, you know, we're getting to that time, and a lot of people put this off. One of the questions we asked Susan a couple years ago, and this was right after the first of the year, you know, when do you make that call? And she said, you know, you got to make that call right away. But the other thing she told us is that, like, right after Christmas, the dam kind of breaks. People kind of wait through the holidays, and then they maybe make decisions. They reach out to Susan. You don't have to do that, though. You can reach out now, and it's important to do that as soon as possible because she will prevent you from making some mistakes that could, you know, come back to haunt you. They have a great team here in St. Louis, multiple locations. She's been doing it for decade after decade. She's rated AV preeminent by Martindale-Hubbell. That's a ratings agency, but that is a rating given by other lawyers. And she has the distinction of being the youngest family law attorney in Missouri to be awarded that AV rating. You can find her very easily online at stlfamilylaw.com or give them a call at 314-783-9400. stlfamilylaw.com, the focus on family law, the emphasis on you, Susan L. Ward.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
4:30 is the time. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
Hey Alexa, hey Siri, play 97.1 FM Talk. Available on your smart speaker anytime of day. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey baby, won't you look my way? I can be your new addiction.
Broadcasting what most people are afraid to say. Mark Reardon on your home for conservative talk.
Everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks. It started with the whisper.
It's Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon today on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The elections have been put to bed. We are done with them for this year, getting ready to kick them off for next year, right around the corner. But wanted to catch up and find out, how did the elections go? So have Kurt Bahr, who is the St. Charles County Election Authority Director, on the phone with us. Kurt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, thanks for making the time. I really appreciate it. I know you're probably exhausted from everything that you've had going on this year. It's been a busy year to be in the election business, hasn't it?
It has been a very busy year, but that's to be expected for presidential elections.
So I wanted to kind of check with you after everything. Has everything been put to bed so far as you know?
Yeah, the state law requires that the elections are certified 2 weeks after the election. So last Tuesday, we had everything certified and sent off to the Secretary of State. So as far as we know, everything is done unless there's one amendment that was within that 0.5%. So unless somebody asks for a recount for that one amendment, everything else is done.
So in looking at the election this year compared to previous years, anything that kind of caught your eye and you said, well, that was kind of unique?
Well, the biggest thing that was different this election, specifically this presidential election, was the incredible increase in the number of people who voted in the 2 weeks of no excuse absentee voting. We've seen, in 2020 during the COVID increase, a lot more people vote by mail than obviously this time around, and a lot more people voted over the course of the 6 weeks. But in the 2 years that this 2 weeks no excuse has existed, and we've been in, not only just the election authority in St. Charles, but all the election authorities have been trying to educate voters. Hey, we have this new feature that the legislature gave us back in 22. You can come and go to our main office, our satellite location, and vote before Election Day. And then very few people did that until this election. And 2 weeks before the election, it just all of a sudden a switch flipped, and voters were like, "Hey, why aren't we having more locations? Why aren't you ready for this mass increase in voter turnout before Election Day?"
It's like, wow, didn't you have a crystal ball? Couldn't you have seen all that? I thought it was very interesting in the absentee voting, because my office is literally across the parking lot from yours. It just wasn't that busy. I didn't really see I guess there was a steady stream of people, that I would call it,
yep.
But it was more of a trickle. I wouldn't say it was.
Yeah, we went from like 200, 250 a day to 3,000, 3,500 a day.
Yeah,
it was a magnitude difference.
Well, it also didn't help that MoDOT had a big road construction project going on the exact highway that you turn off to get to your office.
Yeah, MoDOT, they make these plans 5 years out, but apparently they don't realize every 4 years there's a presidential election.
It just sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a big thing. As you looked around the region, I assume you've talked to the other election authority directors. Were everybody as surprised at how many people came out and voted in those 2 week periods?
Yeah, we were all surprised by that, and it wasn't just St. Charles County. It really was across the entire state. I don't know if it was the media did more to advertise it, or if the other campaigns, did more to let voters know about it, or if just our own efforts over the last 2 years to educate people about the no excuse, finally took hold. But we were all surprised at how many people showed up to vote before Election Day. We actually had as many people vote over the course of the 6 weeks.
Did I lose you? He was there. We'll call him right back.
Right.
There you are. Hey, there you go.
Okay.
You said
sorry. So I said that in 2020, we had people who voted over the course of the full 6 weeks, and this time around, everybody waited until the 2 weeks, and so it was almost the same number of people. Just we crammed it into a much shorter span of time. So, next election in St. Charles County, we'll definitely have more locations to be able to handle the increase in voter turnout, because this is, I guess, going to be the new norm, and so we have to plan for that.
So speaking of voter turnout, what was the percentage in terms of how many people came out and voted in the presidential election?
So in St. Charles County, we hit 76%, which is what we had in 2020. And then St. Louis County had 77%, so they were slightly higher than us. But we were much higher than the city, and we actually had better turnout than our neighboring counties as well. But yeah, it was a good turnout overall statewide for this election.
When you have a ballot like this, there were an awful lot of constitutional amendments and propositions that was on this ballot. It took people a longer time to vote, I would assume, and that probably played into holding up the flow of traffic, if you will, because there was a lot to get through in this ballot. Were you surprised that how many things ended up on one particular election?
So a 17-inch ballot in St. Charles County, a 19-inch ballot in St. Louis County is a long ballot. It's a lot of measures. But there's also, we have these judge retention questions.
Yes.
And then, of course, Missouri has one of the easiest thresholds for initiative petition process, which allowed for a lot of measures to be put on the ballot. And so, that is, I guess, if you will, somewhat surprising, but I guess it really shouldn't be, because we have a conservative legislature and we have a process that allows left of center organizations to be able to take things directly to the voters and get on the ballot if they just have enough money for it.
So you get the holiday off for Thanksgiving, but when do people start registering for municipal elections in April?
So if voters want to be on the April 8th general municipal ballot, registration for candidates starts December 10th.
Wow.
And it ends New Year's Eve. So December 31st is the last day to register. So if you want to run for mayor, school board, alderman, whatever the local race is, the fire boards, these local races that are on the April ballot, that's the time frame to register to be a candidate.
So what is the process if someone wants to run for one of those? Because those are the nonpartisan elections that we talk about. What's the process that you go through for that?
So the process is that if you want to run for mayor or alderman, you go to the city hall of that jurisdiction. If you want to run for school board, then you go to the headquarters for that school board association and register there. If you want to run for fire board, you then go to the headquarters of the fire district and register there. So unless, of course, you want to run for ambulance board, that's the only entity that candidates come to the election authority to register. I don't know why that is. It's just how the law is written. But yeah, then your voters just go and they say, hey, I want to run for this school board seat or this alderman seat. And then you have to fill out some paperwork and fill out a form that basically says, I don't really owe any taxes. And then, you get put on the ballot.
Wow. So you're right back at it again. As soon as you get the big presidential one done, you're going to turn around and do municipal elections. On municipal, typically, what's the turnout that you see for a municipal election?
It varies between 10% and 20%. But yeah, we generally see, any given year, about a 15% turnout for an April election, a 30% turnout for an August election, and then that 60 to 75% turnout for the November election, based on whether or not it's the presidential cycle year with the governor and all the statewides, or in 2 years from now, the only thing that'll be on the ballot will be the state auditor. There'll be a lot less on the ballot, so we'll probably have a pretty low turnout in 2 years.
Wow. Well, Kurt, I appreciate you taking some time and coming on with us. I just wanted to kind of do a follow-up on the elections. There was an awful lot of talk about them coming. Obviously, this was one of the largest elections that we've had in the history of the country. I think only to 2020 was a larger turnout of voters nationwide. Is that correct?
Yeah, 2020 was bigger nationwide, and it was slightly bigger here in St. Charles County. But actually, it's slightly bigger by percentage. We had 0.2% more voters in 2020 than we did in 24. But yeah, definitely a healthy turnout for both of the presidential elections in our county.
Obviously, there were a lot of people motivated. It would be great if we could get them to carry over to the April election and get those folks to care about your municipal elections as much as they do the others. But that's a follow-up conversation that we'll have down the road. How's that?
I'm willing to have that conversation, but looking at the data, it's the younger voters, the 18 to 35. That's the demographic that doesn't vote in April. That shows up in November.
We'll see if we can figure out how to get them to the polls. Kurt Bahr, he's the Election Authority Director for St. Charles County. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks very much. We are going to talk a little sports with Frank Cusumano on the other side. It's Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon today on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got some volume out there. If you are westbound on 64, looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras, a little bit slow there. Kings Highway out past Hanley, little bit at McCausland. Moderate volume just headed for Ballas, and then it opens up. And some moderate volume in pockets out west, but it's nothing too terrible. 70 westbound looks pretty good out of downtown. We've got southbound 270 with slow pockets, mainly moderate volume south of Page down through Doherty Ferry. So volume westbound 44 at 270. And we do have a jam on southbound 55, especially near Rivas Barracks in the construction zone there. To the south of there, traffic has been a little bit slow on either side of Z, and that continues to be the case. If you are headed into Illinois, expect some volume eastbound on 6440, but then things open up and look much better on the bridge itself. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning, 443 at 97.1 FM Talk.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Let's talk about your vacation next year, because I would love for you to come with me to Greece on a beautiful, really, really awesome, intimate, small ship cruise. We leave on the 27th from St. Louis. We get back on May 7th. We start in Athens and a couple of days there, and then we start going to the islands. Now, you're a very small ship, and I want to emphasize that because this is intimate. Some of you may have taken cruise ships before, big Carnival cruise lines. I've been on those, Royal Caribbean. This is not anything like that at all. You need the cruise ship, though, to get around to the islands because you want to see as much as possible. This is a ship that only holds about 197 guests total, and that's very intimate. We have, I think, only 3 cabins left to sell. We'd love to have you on board. A couple of ways to find out more about the trip. If you go to my Twitter site, I've pinned the details, the link at the top of my site at Mark Reardon KFTK, or go to defineddestinations.com. You can also reach out to me via email, and I can answer any questions or hook you up with Mike. Defineddestinations.com. Come to Greece with us next April and May. From 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, Stewie, I have a lot of friends who can't save money in this economy right now, but they're looking to buy a house. Is it even possible right now?
You know what, Annie? You can buy a house. There are young folks out there, people that are hardworking. They just don't have enough money in their savings account to do it. We have 100% financing, no down payment. You heard it right. 100% financing, no down payment. Couple that with the bagel loan, no closing costs. You can get the house of your dreams with little or no money. This is a real opportunity. You can close in 10 days. Be aware, as the rates drop, there's going to be more competition. So now, no money down, bagel loan, no closing costs, close in 10 days. Big bam boom, you got the house of your dreams, and you beat everybody else out. As the rates drop, there's going to be more competition. Right now, we have that rate drop. Take advantage now. Get that home. You have your own place before you know it.
Trust me when I say you are in the best hands with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Call or text him today, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Tuesday, I've been telling you about Respond to Rescue. I'll introduce you to a police officer whose life was changed thanks to their generosity.
Weekdays from 5 to 9.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
On St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Mark on Twitter at Mark Reardon KFTK and Instagram at Mark Talk. This is the Mark Reardon Show.
It's the Mark Reardon upbeat music Reardon Show. I kind of like that. That feels very Maui-ish, kind of, islandish kind of feel that you've got.
Oh,
I
brother.
get you're staying there in the whole honeymoon mode.
Give me a break.
Rubbing it in our faces because you're here in the winter.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, Sue and I didn't get to enjoy the islands. So,
No.
that's how it is. Way to remind us. Hey, there's all kinds of stuff that's been breaking over the weekend in sports news. So that means we got to go to the guy who has always got his finger on the pulse. Ladies and gentlemen, KSTK Sports Director Frank Cusumano is joining us. Frank, how are you?
Good to be with you, Mike. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well. I'm doing better than Drew Bannister. How about that?
Yeah, not a shock. I think a lot of people thought it could go a little bit longer, but what's the point? Well, the bottom line is this. When Jim Montgomery became available, Drew Bannister's job with the Blues was in serious jeopardy. Not only do they have a losing record this season, but you could look at almost every player, and almost every one of them has regressed. Do you blame it all on Drew Bannister? No, you can't do that. But Montgomery, over the last 2.5 seasons, has the highest winning percentage of any coach in the NHL. He's long been a darling of Doug Armstrong. He has strong St. Louis roots. His wife is from here. His kids grew up playing youth hockey here, played here, assistant coach here, knows the organization, and knows half the roster, too. So I think it's a great hire. And maybe it doesn't pay immediate dividends because they're going to have to play the Rangers and the Devils right off the bat. But there is a lot of talent in the pipeline with the Blues right now. They have 12 guys, 25 or younger, who were first-round draft picks. He signed a 5-year deal. They want him to be around for a long time and have a major impact on the maturation of some of these young, talented players.
It's pretty unusual, isn't it, that all of a sudden, you get rid of a coach midstream, you hire another coach, and right away give him a 5-year deal. That doesn't happen very often.
No, the 5 years is a lot, but it gives you an idea of how highly they regard Jim Montgomery as a person and as a coach. And, if I'm a coach in the NHL and these guys are getting fired left and right, I demand that thing. So then if they fire me, I can go to Hawaii with Reardon and enjoy the good life.
Hey, Frank, it's Ethan here. I was curious if you had a chance to hear any of his comments today, Montgomery's comments. It seems like a lot of fans are excited about some of the thoughts that he had about this team. What were your takeaways from those thoughts?
Yeah, I was impressed with how optimistic he was about the talent level on the roster right now. I don't know how you feel, Ethan, but I think if I look at it objectively, I think it's probably just average talent. But he saw some of these guys growing up, and he saw some of these guys play at their best when he was an assistant coach. So I like the optimistic tone, and I know he knows, about, Dalibor Dvorsky and some of the young talent in the organization. So he's optimistic, and I think you should be long-term. I'm just not as bullish right now on the Blues.
So are you thinking for the rest of this year, hey, we're going to ride this out, don't get your hopes up too high, but start looking positively for next season?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be like the Chief, who, when he took over, now granted, they weren't great for about a month, and then all of a sudden they hear Laura Branigan sing that song, and then they win the Stanley Cup. I don't think that's happening with this squad, because that squad had a bunch of 6'6" defensemen. They had a bunch of veteran leaders. They had some elite players. This is not the same roster.
So all we need is what I heard is another 80s hit to come back, inspire us, and we're on our way to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I don't know why they stopped playing that. They should play that song after every victory. It should never leave us forever and ever.
I know, you would think, right? I mean, it kind of caught on with the whole country road thing, but let's keep the one going that got us to a Stanley Cup. That's going to get us there closer to anything. Hey,
yes, sir.
Tell me about your Thanksgiving Day. There's going to be football games on all day. Are you going to get a chance to watch any of them, or are you going to be loading up on turkey all day?
Well, there will be as many Italians in my house as there were on the set of The Sopranos. So we'll have about 25 of them.
Wow.
And but the one thing my wife has allowed us to do on all holidays is we put an extra TV in the family room. I don't know why I waited so long, but about 3 years ago. So we'll have 2 TVs going, and believe me, all the sports fans will not be deprived of their NFL fix on Thanksgiving Day.
In the Cusumano family, I got to figure there's got to be lasagna around your table.
Well, it's interesting. Thanksgiving, we don't go that route, but on Christmas, it's like an Italian buffet. I mean, lasagna, spaghetti carbonara, cannolis, it's heavy Italian. But Thanksgiving, we go the turkey, the ham, and then, my mom's famous, old recipes of dressing and sweet potatoes, and it's quite a feast.
Do you have any hopes for these games that we're going to have coming up on Thanksgiving Day? I mean, Ethan was just pointing out, like that 3:30 game, it's the battle of the backup quarterbacks.
Ethan, refresh my memory on that. Who's that? The 3:30 game?
That's the Giants and the Cowboys.
Oh gosh, I mean, haven't we suffered enough already?
I know.
I can't think of a worse game. Now, you think America's team, put them on national TV, but the Lions played, too. They play. Who do they play?
They got the Bears. They play at 11:30, and then the 7:20 game is the Dolphins-Packers, which I think could be an interesting one, but it's also the Dolphins playing in a cold, frozen tundra, so, you have that as well.
Yeah, not quite the sexy matchups we're accustomed to on Thanksgiving. And who would have thought, the Cowboys would be this bad, even though they had a great victory yesterday against the Commanders?
Yeah, I didn't see that actually happening. I thought the Commanders were going to win that game pretty easily, but every dog has his day.
Yeah, I want to switch you
that was bizarre. It was the game of the day. I mean, that long touchdown pass from Daniels to McLaren, and then they missed the extra point and the onside kick, and Dallas has the touchdown. That was a wild, fun game.
It was.
I want to switch here real quick, Frank, to some college football. A crazy weekend with 3 big teams going down, including Alabama. I mean, what were the thoughts at the beginning of the year of a 12-team playoff without the Crimson Tide? It seems like right now the parity that college football is bringing with this new 12-team playoff and some of these conference changes has been pretty healthy.
Yeah, it has been. And 3 really good teams in the SEC coughed it up over the weekend. It may cost them a chance to get to the college football playoff. I fear for Coach DeBoer of Alabama, because when you lose 3 games at Alabama, that's a catastrophe.
Yeah.
I used to be best friends with the former coach there, a guy by the name of Bill Curry, who I knew from my Kentucky days. And Curry was in his office one day. This is a true story. And he lost like 4 or 5 one year. And he was in there, and a brick came through the window, right through his office.
Wow.
That's how psychotic they are in Alabama. And after you succeed, a legendary coach, and you lose 3 games in your first season, that must be brutal for him.
I can't imagine anybody wanting to take that gig after Nick Saban. I would take the job after the guy who followed Nick Saban, but you wouldn't want to be right on the back of a legend. That is just so tough to follow.
It's like Phil Bankston following Lombardi. It's like Gene Bartow following Wooden. You want to be the next guy after that. You're right.
You really do. I don't want to be the rebound boyfriend. It just doesn't work out well in the long run. Hey, Frank, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. You are so far down the road beyond me to where your wife will let you put a second TV. My wife doesn't like the fact that I'm going to have the game on. She's like, just turn the volume off. So I wish you the best, man, and I hope the Cusumano family has a great Thanksgiving.
You too, Mike. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
I appreciate it. Frank Cusumano always got his finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. We are going to talk to Marc Cox, actually, next hour about a thing that he's got coming up. We'll give you the details of that after the break on 97.1 FM Talk.
A little controversy for your afternoon. The Mark Reardon Show. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Not a bad commute out there. Now, we do have some volume. If you are eastbound on 6440 Near Jefferson to the Poplar Street Bridge, it's fine on the bridge itself. Westbound 40 lines up near Kings Highway out through McCausland. Eastbound is slowing at Big Bend. Westbound picks up again between Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70 westbound looks pretty good out of downtown. Little slow out at Highway A. Southbound 170, some moderate volume headed for 64. Southbound 55, a real jam. And this is in the construction zone, especially approaching Weber Road down through Rivas Barracks. You can see the jam on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. To the south of there, just moderate volume in Peevely. Now, westbound Highway 30 is really lined up tonight. It's kind of on either side of Schumacher Road, if that helps. But we look great through North County if you happen to be traveling on eastbound 270. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. They offer a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Winter World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 456 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at the Gelman team. Mark was on the show last Wednesday. We had a great conversation, an updated conversation about the market here in St. Louis, and it's changed. It's changed in the last several months, and it continues to change. We know that mortgage rates are staying high, and you have a situation, depending on where you are. The city is different than St. Louis, West St. Louis County in particular, is different than St. Charles County. Homes are selling, but they're not selling quite as quickly as they used to, despite supply still being tight. That's why you need a team like the Gelmans on your side. We talked about staging, and I told Mark, we had breakfast a few weeks ago, and we were talking about this. Some buyers don't like that. You think your house is perfect, but someone coming in wanting to make it their own home, they have a different view. They can stage the home, get you top dollar. If you need an instant cash offer, the Gelmans can do that too with eXp Realty here in St. Louis. They also have a great tool on the website where you can find out with just entering your address what your home would list for right now. Go to thegelmanteam.com today. Tell them that I sent you along. The Gelman Team at thegelmanteam.com.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
It's time to start thinking about your holiday parties right now. Marc Cox here for my friend Grill Master Tony. His schedule's starting to fill up. Make your parties easier and tastier with Grill Master Tony. You can choose from his brisket, pulled pork, or chicken. Choose from sides like roasted potatoes, bourbon barbecue baked beans, French bread from Pete's Italian Baking on the Hill. But get your orders in early. Get your orders in now. Just go online to grillmastertony.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Tom Graham. A Washington judge grants a request from Special Prosecutor Jack Smith to abandon the election interference case against President-elect Trump. A similar effort is underway in Florida over a classified documents case.
Special counsel Jack Smith wrote that the Justice Department will not and cannot prosecute a sitting president. Therefore, the cases must be dismissed. In Washington, D.C., Smith charged Trump with trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. It was supposed to go to trial trial in March, but the U.S. Supreme Court delayed the process. The special counsel also charged Trump in Florida with taking classified documents after leaving the White House. A Trump-appointed judge dismissed that case over the summer, and Smith appealed to a circuit court. Now that Donald Trump is less than 2 months from moving back into the White House, special counsel Smith says his two cases are over.
Fox's David Spunt. The nation's immigration policy is expected to change after the president-elect made cracking down on illegal immigration a key part of his campaign. He's already named a border czar. Fox's Bill Malugin is in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Since Election Day, I've talked to a whole lot of Border Patrol agents and Texas troopers who say they are ecstatic that Tom Homan is going to be leading President Trump's border security efforts. They feel he's going to be a partner for them. And they need help down here because it is still very active. 200 illegal immigrants crossed right here in Eagle Pass, encountered by Texas troopers. Part of that group included 60 of these unaccompanied children, some as young as 2 years old. No parents, no guardians, traveling completely alone.
The president-elect has vowed to carry out mass deportations. A California judge delaying an anticipated resentencing hearing for Eric and Lyle Menendez, two Beverly Hills brothers serving life without parole for the 1989 murders of their parents. Today, family members testified on behalf of the Menendez brothers, asking a judge to consider new evidence of their father's sexual abuse. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of clouds, temperatures dropping through the 40s for evening plans. The northwest wind is back, clearing skies overnight. Let's keep it windy really all night long, going down to 27. Tuesday, sunshine giving way to increasing clouds, 45. Tuesday night, clouds and 39. Wednesday, clouds, some rain showers developing Wednesday afternoon, a chilly 46. Periods of rain and some sloppy wet snow possible Wednesday night. Thursday looks dry. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, it's Brady Cook, quarterback at Mizzou. I'm all for Macadoodle's Garden Prairie. We've got a world-class selection of fine wine, beer, and spirits. We've got a drive-thru, and we've got the friendliest customer service in town. Make sure you stop into Macadoodle's before every big game to stock up on bourbon, beer, and seltzer. While you're there, pick up a bottle or two from Macadoodle's world-class wine cellar. Macadoodle's is Missouri. Macadoodle's is fun. Come visit us on Bryan Road, just north of the Page Extension, St. Charles County.
It's always fun being a member of the Missouri Athletic Club, but the holidays are really fun. There's a lot of great things that are going on. Maybe most prominently, the Sports Personality of the Year Award at the Jack Buck Sports Awards coming up at the Downtown Clubhouse on Monday the 16th. It's always a great event. Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, Ozzie Smith, Jackie Joyner-Kersee among the past honorees. Coach Drink this year. They have, this is something interesting. They have a holiday fund at the MAC to support the charitable initiatives. And, if you're a member, I would encourage you to do something here, maybe just a little extra with the holiday fund. You can always find out more on the website or use your app. They have some great Christmas events coming up. They're also selling ringside tickets already for the boxing championships at the end of January. We're talking a lot about Guns N' Hoses, a huge event. Well, the MAC Boxing Championships, one of the most anticipated events of the year, Thursday, January 30th. And if you're a member, grab some ringside seats now before they're gone. Check out mac-sel.org today for the Missouri Athletic Club.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose, paid for by Bayer.
And a lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up, play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports, and as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes, and those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
The 37th Budweiser Guns N' Roses presented by Stiefel is Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving at Enterprise Center. Enter the Odyssey raffle for one-of-a-kind Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson artwork. See it now at stlgunsandhoses.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
The Trump presidency is coming into focus. Keep it here for every twist and turn, because the updates are happening fast. 97.1 FM Talk. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here. This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts.
The Mark Reardon Show
on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon today. Hope your Monday is starting off well. Hope your holiday week is starting off well. That was fun talking to Frank Cusumano. I was just wondering about when you have 25 people at your house for Thanksgiving, what do you have? And you have everything.
Yeah.
It sounds like for Christmas, but for Thanksgiving, he's going traditional. Are you guys traditional on your meals?
I like to be. I usually host. The most I have is 12. And I just do a turkey appropriate for that size, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green beans. I make a pumpkin pie or two with homemade whipped cream. Yeah.
You do all this by yourself?
Oh, no, you delegate.
Oh.
So I do turkey, and I'll get the potatoes boiling. But I have somebody else bring the green beans and a regular salad, and I do make the pies because I like to make pie.
How do you do this when you're going to this is your first time, though, isn't it?
It is my first, and I was a little bit nervous at one point. It's my first Thanksgiving with
now,
my
hang on.
wife's family.
For people who may have missed it last hour, you're traveling
to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
So you and your wife are going up there.
Driving.
Driving for the first
Wednesday
time.
night, and this is her family. She's very picky. She's super picky. So
Well,
I was
of course, she married you.
Nice, thank
Hey.
you. So I was a little bit nervous, like, oh, do you guys do an actual meal? She's like, yes, we do an actual meal. I just don't really eat much of it. I'm like, okay, that's fine, as long as you guys have an actual meal, because I'm religious when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yes,
Hey.
it is maybe my favorite holiday just because of the food.
My wife was bothered, I will say, agitated the other day because she keeps a running list of what everyone brings. So her...
Wait a minute. Oh, you mean the day of when they come in the door?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that way she knows what's up.
Right.
Yeah.
So so my daughter got home Friday from college, and my brother-in-law got here from Charlotte on Friday, and they're both going to be here. And then I think last year, I want to say we had 17 or 18 at the house. So I think we're going to be under that a little bit this year.
Okay.
I think we're going to be probably 15-ish or so. This will be a weird year because it's the first year since Jennifer's brother passed away earlier this year.
Yeah.
So it'll be our first Thanksgiving since then. But my niece got married a couple of months ago, so it will be her first married Thanksgiving. So I'm curious to see how. I think everything's going to be great, obviously, but it will be a little different, right? There'll be some time that is going to be strange. As if you've been, the holiday after you've lost somebody, it always is a little different, right?
It is.
It is. It's just a little off, and you start finding a new rhythm to how things kind of move forward.
Yeah.
But Jennifer keeps a running tab of, okay, Paula brings this, Lauren brings this,
Yeah, you
John and
have
Nat
to.
bring this. Yeah. So she puts that all together. Well, she couldn't find the folder on her phone the other day.
Oh, no.
And she was just like, crap, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, is it that big a deal?
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I learned that. That was just, so Ethan, don't say stupid things like that to your wife when you're
Listen.
like, hey, can't you just ask?
It's like a huge dance, and everything
is.
has to be, because if you double up, what if somebody forgot to bring this and you got to bring theirs out? You want to be polite. It's a huge balancing act of all that.
It is, and you have to match your starches to your
Yes,
veggies,
yes.
to your meat. Yeah. And then, you have those folks, like you coming in from out of town, you have those people that is going to be, hey, I need to go pick something up that I can throw in.
Right, right.
Hey, can you be the ice and chips and pick up a pie type person? Because somebody's going to have to be.
I haven't processed any of this at all, so I'm so thankful that I have you two here to tell me of all of the stresses of
Sue,
planning
you
out
have
Thanksgiving
Sue here
meals.
to help you with the
Well,
planning.
I will tell you this. I am taking the year off. Michael's mother, though, called and said, do you mind if we have steak? Because we've had like 3 pre-Thanksgivings. And I said,
Whoa.
no, I do not.
Heyo.
Have steak?
Steak and baked potatoes, people.
Hello.
And my pumpkin pie at the end.
Although I will tell you, there are a couple of things that I only get them 3 times a year. Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, right?
Number 1.
Sweet
Turkey.
potato casserole.
Oh, yeah, with all the
I'm not a turkey person.
Wait, do you like the marshmallow? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't
on
have
top?
to have the marshmallows,
All right.
but I want the like the pecans and that
yeah,
whole
the
thing.
brown sugar.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like the sweet potato casserole.
Yeah.
I also like the green bean casserole.
I got no problem with the green bean casserole.
I'm not a big casserole person, generally speaking, through the year, but it's the only time that I get those 2 things.
But I prefer the fresh green beans pan-fried with
come
a little
on.
garlic and some olive oil. Anyway,
Talk to me, Sue.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I want the stuff with the
I've broken the
fried.
bell.
She's broke her bell. She's so
I think
excited.
It died on steaks.
Yeah,
That's when it died.
Sorry.
The
about
fried onions and cheese and all that stuff with my green bean stuff. That's like, you build a lot of girth by eating stuff like that. And I've definitely put my time in under the table. But I just wanted to throw a few little Thanksgiving trivia things at you.
I'm ready.
And see kind of where are you. Now, some of these are easy, right? You're gonna get these.
Turkey. Oh.
Exactly.
Hit the
So,
bell.
what ship brought the Pilgrims to America in 1620?
Mayflower.
Mayflower.
There you go. What's the name of the rock that the Pilgrims?
Plymouth Rock.
There you go. Thanks very much. I'm reading the wrong thing. What's the name of the ocean that they crossed to get to America?
Atlantic.
And so, what year did the Pilgrims and the Native Americans first celebrate Thanksgiving?
Oh, I don't know if I know this. Ethan?
1673. I don't know.
I don't know.
21. They got here in 1620, 1621. It was a celebration.
Right century.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the
you're
question
in the
of
right there. I'll give
why,
you a ding for that.
why did they hold the first Thanksgiving feast?
It was I remember it was the unification of the Indians and the Pilgrims. And it was some sort of celebration between them coming together, right?
It was commemorating a
Harvest?
successful harvest.
Okay.
Correct. The Pilgrims faced a lot of challenges settling into the new land. One local Native American specifically taught them how to grow corn.
Go, Ethan.
Squanto.
Thank you, elementary school.
Yes.
Now, what was the first Thanksgiving feast meat that the Native Americans brought?
Venison?
Good, deer.
That's what I
Yes,
would have guessed
there you-
as well.
there you
Good call,
go.
Sue.
Yeah. How long was the first Thanksgiving celebration?
Ooh, a
Ah.
week.
Oh, you mean like days?
Yeah.
2 days.
3 days.
Oh,
You were
bummer.
close. How long did it take for the Mayflower to come from England to America?
Ooh. What are you
3 months?
I was thinking
Oh.
3 weeks as well.
66 days.
Okay.
So that's a lot of time on
Is
a
that
ship.
2 months?
That
2 months?
explains that whole
Jeez.
scurvy thing,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
fruit went bad, and we should have
Ooh.
planned that better.
Oof.
I needed some preservatives. Now, here's something that it makes sense now, but I didn't think about it. What protein source was present at the first Thanksgiving that is not typically equated with Thanksgiving?
You mean besides venison?
Yeah,
Are
that's what I
people
was about
eating
to say.
venison today? Maybe they are.
Besides deer.
Okay, besides
and turkey.
deer.
Was it? It was a meat. You said
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah.
It's protein source.
Pheasant? No.
Think about where they were.
Plymouth Rock.
Maybe that helps.
Fish.
Seafood.
Nice.
Yes. There's a great Everybody Loves Ray episode talking about Thanksgiving. And his wife wants to cook, and she wants to make fish.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, but Ray, I want to host this year, and I want to cook this. And he goes, yeah, you make a great fish, but not on Turkey Day. We're not going that one. Now, which president proclaimed Thanksgiving a national holiday?
Nixon? I'm throwing it out there. I have no idea.
Go a little earlier than Nixon.
Abe Lincoln.
Correct.
I love it.
Abraham Lincoln was the
Oh
one.
my gosh, I love it.
There you go. Now,
Right.
when is Thanksgiving celebrated in the United States?
Well,
is it the
in
third
Nov-
Thursday?
It is
of
the
November?
fourth.
Fourth. Okay.
It is the fourth, but there was a president who tried to change it to the third Thanksgiving.
Was it Nixon?
He was, I am not a crook. I would never change to the third week.
I don't know.
It goes back before Nixon. Think polio.
Oh, FDR.
FDR tried to do that. In 1939, he tried to move Thanksgiving to the third Thursday in hopes of stimulating economic growth for Christmas.
Oh, I wondered why.
Because
Okay.
this year
One week.
you have one less week
Yeah.
for Christmas shopping. I never thought about that before.
I didn't either.
What do you call this colorful horn-shaped decoration often seen on Thanksgiving
Sue?
tables?
Cornucopia.
Look at you. That was very good. What else did we have down there? Is pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable?
I think it's a vegetable.
I'm gonna go with fruit.
It is a fruit.
Nice work, Ethan.
How about that?
There was
See?
two options. I went the opposite of you.
That's a good plan. It's a good plan.
I had to go somewhere else.
In general.
Well, we already talked about so here's something I've never heard of this before as a dessert. What kind of dessert is made from layers of sponge cake, custard, whipped cream, and sometimes includes pumpkin?
Oh, yeah, those are, I can't think of the name of them. You can have them. It's not necessarily for Thanksgiving only.
They call it a trifle.
Yes, it's a trifle. And you can make them out of anything.
All I know is you be trifling.
That reminds me of the Friends episode, right? Like the meat, good,
Yeah.
jam, good, custard, good, all in the trifle.
What type of nut is often turned into a sweet pie on Thanksgiving?
Pecan.
Pecan pie. You are correct. Here's another one that I didn't know, and we'll take a break after this. What's the name of the thin fried pastry that is sometimes served as a Thanksgiving dessert and is a symbol for Native Americans that stretches back generations?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is blanking me.
Never heard of this. Fry bread.
Oh, I like fry bread, but I didn't realize it had anything to do with Thanksgiving and the...
I didn't even know what fry
Wow.
bread was.
Well-
I'd never heard of that.
Regardless, Sue, I
Yes.
think that we need to find a local restaurant or bar, get into some Thanksgiving trivia. We might
yeah,
win a couple bucks. 'cause
Ethan,
we
I'm
did-
with you.
We did pretty good, I
yeah,
think.
we did. We got the generations covered.
Yeah,
You
we
remember
did.
elementary
You guys are
school
killing
better.
it. Which type of alcoholic beverage made from fermented apples is often served during fall festivals?
Cider?
Hard cider. You are correct. All right, so we'll play a little more. Marc Cox is going to join us In about 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk a little bit about a big giveaway that Mark is doing. He's going to join us, give us the details from that, and we're also going to have the audio cut of the day. That's all coming up on the Mark Reardon Show. Mike Elam sitting in for Mark today, tomorrow, even on Wednesday. Wait, wasn't this supposed to be a holiday week? How did I end up here this whole time? Mark's got the weekend off, and I am very grateful and thankful for my opportunity to spend this time with you on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Mark Reardon Show
on 97.1 FM Talk. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
On the roads tonight, well, we do have some volume out there. If you are westbound on 70, it looks fine. Little bit slow eastbound at 141, but westbound is in good shape. 6440, that lines up. Kings Highway out through McCausland. Not a solid jam, just a little slow. Same thing at Spady. Eastbound is slowing at Timberlake Manor. Westbound slowing again at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Southbound 170 is kind of slow, headed for 40. Southbound 270, it's mainly moderate volume, stretching south of Page, down through Gravois. 55 is mainly a slow go at Rivas Barracks, maybe a little volume south of Z. If you're headed into Illinois, no delays on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Mosby Building Arts. It is 5:21 at 97.1 FM Talk.
After a whirlwind year, bring peace back to your home. Enjoy 10% off Mosby remodeling projects or no payments until 2026. Call 314-909-1800 by December 31st. Mosby Building Arts, bringing joy home.
It's time to book your holiday parties today with Grill Master Tony. Marc Cox here. Grill Master Tony's schedule is starting to fill up, so make your holiday parties easier and tastier with Grill Master Tony for your holidays. It is the season. Choose from brisket or pulled pork or chicken and all the sides, the roasted potatoes, the bourbon baked beans, the French bread from Pete's Italian Bakery on the Hill. Also, don't forget your company parties and your holiday lunches. Visit grillmastertony.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, and you believed they'd be kept safe. But now you've learned the nursing home has violated that trust. You've discovered bed sores, broken bones, and infections. Your loved one did not receive the care they deserved. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect or abuse, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE. Onder Law, making a difference one case at a time.
This holiday season, be the MVP of your family and give the gift of Cardinals baseball. All-inclusive tickets are on sale now and feature a full buffet, complimentary bar, plus a great view of the game, and you can choose from the Budweiser 703 Club, UMB Champions Club, Proficient Red Jacket Club, and more. So treat your family, your friends, your clients, or just yourself with all-inclusive Cardinals tickets. They're on sale now at cardinals.com/holiday.
Cardinals single game tickets for the 2025 season, including opening day, are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Give the gift of family time, date nights, or hanging out with your friends under the stadium lights. The 2025 schedule is filled with great matchups, including weekends with the Dodgers, Yankees, Cubs, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites, too. There's something for everyone in the 2025 season, so get your tickets now at cardinals.com/holiday.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
526, this time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
97.1 is proud to be the first station to ever broadcast Guns N' Hoses this year. It's this Wednesday at Enterprise Center. If you can't make the event, listen live to our broadcast right here that night.
Sponsored by TR Hughes Homes and Golden Oak Lending.
It's a Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. Mike Elam sitting in for Mark Reardon today. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. The time always goes super fast. And this is a day where I get to do 3 jobs back to back to back. I did my full-time job for most of today.
Yeah.
Then I come in and do this job, and then I'm leaving here, and we've got a county council meeting at 7.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Day. It is.
It does get to be a long day. That's what happens when you work multiple jobs.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do after that is go home, record another audio track for a commercial, and then I will have done all 4 jobs today. There you go. We'll just work them out. Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit about and play some audio here that Ethan was nice enough to pull together. One of the things that really annoys me is all of these mayors and governors that are coming out and saying that they are going to fight Trump on this deportation thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get this. I mean, I understand some of them, and I mean, they're liberals, so I make allowances for that, right? There's mental illness. It's a real thing. So they've got this whole deal where they don't want people to be deported. But what they're talking about, especially Tom Holman in the beginning, is really talking about the fact of getting rid of people who are in this country illegally and have committed crimes.
Yes.
Specifically violent crimes on people. And there was a report that was done out of Denver. So I want to go back. The Denver mayor was making some statements, and here's a quick story that they did on that.
And I fly later today, right? Something to get to an event, and right before 12.
What did you mean with the Denverite comment?
I'm so sorry, you guys. He has somewhere to be.
Before we could even turn our camera on, Denver Mayor Mike Johnson was already running away from reporters. We tried asking him about an interview he gave talking about how the city would respond to President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plan. The mayor told Denverite the city would resist efforts by federal officials to deport immigrants. More than us having DPD stationed at the county line to keep them out, you would have 50,000 Denverites there, Johnston said, comparing it to a Tiananmen Square moment with the Rose and Gun.
You know, I think the next 4 years will be a tough 4 years, and I genuinely believe that it is a fight for all of us.
Gladys Bahr is the executive director of the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition. She says since Trump's win, immigrant families are worried.
I understand if you've got some people here, some families in particular, and I heard stories this morning during Marc Cox's show. They were talking about the fact there were kids crossing the border in this latest group as young as 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Unaccompanied. So you have children who are coming over. They're obviously being trafficked, right?
Yeah.
So that's coming over. I understand you've got some folks who are just to do that side. They're trying to find a better life. They're not doing anything to cause problems, so to speak. I get that. you're here illegally,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
you didn't come in the right way. I get what you want. I get it. I understand. But stand in line, go through the process, do it the right way, and get here that way. Once you're here legally, I'm all up for
Yes.
you having a better life. I don't have anything against that. You have a lot of areas like St. Louis that is losing a ton of population. And we're going to talk with Ness Sandoval, who is a demographer from SLU, later on this week, in talking about the fact of the demographic winter that the St. Louis region is going through, what he's calling it. But it's basically we're on a population loss downward slide that if something big doesn't happen, it's not going to turn around. And one of the things that they talk about is immigration is a way to turn that around. But they mean legal immigration.
Right.
You're here the right way. And you don't have to be from a foreign country even. We need more people to immigrate into St. Louis from other parts of the country, not just other parts of the world. But Tom Holman is the new guy who is the border czar. And Tom Holman is a guy who has done the job. He has been on the front lines. And I was reading a story earlier today on Fox News talking about how excited the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents are to have a guy like that in control, a guy that they know has their back, and
Yep.
he is willing to stand there and support them, give them the tools that they need to do the job. Here's a cut that he had talking about these mayors and governors.
And for those mayors and those governors who say they're going to stop ICE from doing the job, stop me from doing this job, listen to the Laken Riley tape. Listen to the 17 minutes of this girl suffering, fighting for her life, fighting for her breath. This little girl didn't want to die. She fought like hell. And listen to that tape. That happens every day across this country at the hands of an illegal alien. And finally, I'll say this. President Trump has made it clear. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats right out of the gate because they pose the most danger to this country. What governor or mayor doesn't want public safety threats and national security threats out of their neighborhoods, out of their communities? That's your number one responsibility. So you can hate Trump all you want, but you got to love your community more than you hate President Trump.
Exactly.
I think that comes back to the fact of this is a no-brainer, right? You want your country to be safe. You want your neighborhood to be safe. And you start with making sure that people who have shown you that they are not going to play by the rules, that they think the rules don't apply to them, those people need to be out of here. They should have never been here, but they should be the first ones on a plane, on a train, on a boat, and see ya. You've got to get out of here, right? Planes, trains, and automobiles, we are sending you packing, buddy. Get the heck out of Dodge. And I don't understand why J.B. Pritzker had this whole thing. If you come for my people, you come through me. Really? Really, J.B.? That's where you want to be? How about if these people are taking resources away from the people who are real citizens of your state? How about the fact that you are denying things, resources, to your residents who are legal residents of the state of Illinois, that you are not able to provide for them because you're having to take care of thousands, if not millions, of illegal immigrants that have run into Illinois. Now I see these stories talking about how the state of Illinois is again getting back into all this financial debt. And the city of Chicago in particular is almost $1 billion short. $1 billion.
Good grief.
It's like $984 million that they're short. The problem for JB is the old joke about socialism. You know, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. And that's what's happening.
That's exactly it.
There are 2 counties in the state of Illinois that are growing. Can you believe that? Out of the entire state, there are 2 counties that are growing.
Where are they? South?
Well, no, one's actually up in McHenry County.
Okay.
McHenry County is a county, so it goes Cook County, Lake County, McHenry County, running along the Wisconsin border from Chicago, right?
Got it.
So what's happening is the same thing that's been happening in our area for the last 2 decades. So St. Charles County keeps growing, even though the region doesn't grow.
Right.
Why? Because they're fleeing St. Louis, they're fleeing St. Louis County and the crime and all the problems that are going on, and they're coming out to St. Charles County. That's what's going on in northern Illinois. They're fleeing Chicago. They're bypassing Lake County in some respects, and they're going straight out to McHenry County. So they're running out to that direction. When they run out there, then that's helping McHenry County continue to grow. So that's why they're one of, and I think they are the fastest growing county in Illinois, is because you're seeing that happen. So I don't understand why these governors and these mayors are so just dead set on the fact that we're going to go ahead and deny our citizens rights and resources so we can take care of people who are in the country illegally, very specifically, people who have committed crimes, especially violent crimes. Why you wouldn't want them out and why you were fighting tooth and nail to protect them is beyond me. That would be the first people that I would think the citizens are going to vote out of office. You already saw what happened in this election. Trump won by a lot more than most people thought he was going to. I mean, I was doing Annie's show one time, and the question was Trump going to win? And if he was going to win, was he going to win just the Electoral College, or would he win that and the popular vote? And Ryan and Brad were both right. They both said that he was going to win the popular vote. I said, I don't think he's going to win the popular vote, but I thought he was going to have over 300 electoral votes, and I said that back then. But I didn't see that coming. What I didn't see was 11 million Democrat votes going away. Not to say that they were ever there in 2020. Not going down that road right now, but just saying there's 11 million Democrat votes that didn't show up this year that showed up 4 years ago to get counted. So that kind of explains one of the things why the popular vote happened. But Trump got really popular in a broad coalition all the way across the board. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, didn't matter. Everybody said, I'm sick and tired of where I'm at right now. And this border crisis that we're talking about was a real reason why a lot of people voted the other way. Hey, we are talking to the guy who you talk to every morning, you listen to every morning, Marc Cox. He's going to join us on the other side. We're going to talk a little bit about a big raffle that he has got going on, and he's going to tell you how you can get involved with it, and we're going to get the details on the other side. It's Mike Elam in for Mark Reardon today on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
Follow Mark on Twitter at Mark Reardon KFTK and Instagram at Mark Talk. You're listening to The Mark Reardon Show. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Watch out for an accident eastbound 6440 approaching Timberlake Manor. They've got the right lanes blocked and traffic is really stacked up behind it. If you're traveling in that area, that is the cause of the delay. And the jam goes back past Clarkson. Now, if you are westbound on 6440, it's a little slow at Clayton Skinker. We've got moderate volume at Spady, eastbound traffic slowing at Big Bend, but then it completely opens up. No problems headed for the Poplar Street Bridge. 70 westbound looks fine out of downtown. We've got 44 really in good shape out of downtown. There's some volume right at 270. 55 slowing at Revis Barracks. Southbound 270, moderate volume at Ladue Road and at Doherty Ferry. And then it looks fine. This report is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 538 and 97.1 FM Talk.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Tom Ackerman. Jim Montgomery, one of the best coaches in the league. Very successful and very well respected around here. They think extremely highly of him, and it's a very good choice.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
On St. Louis's home for conservative talk. A well-meaning man with a terrific memory. This is Mark Reardon on 97.1.
It's Mike Helaman for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk. Now, the guy that you listen to every morning on this radio station is decided to stay up late and talk with us on the phone today. Marc Cox is joining us. Mark, how are you?
Mike, you're putting me to bed too early. I don't go to bed this early, but thank you.
Do you go home and take a nap during the day?
I try to. Several days a week, I definitely steal an hour or two when I get home. So you have to when you get up at 3 every morning.
Well, I know you talk about doing stuff with your family from time to time. You were talking about movies and things like that. By the way, I did go to Wicked this weekend with my wife and my daughter and my brother-in-law. So we all went to see that movie this weekend. So I can appreciate the fact that your daughter wanted to sing along with the songs, and I'm sure it was tough because my 22-year-old daughter really wanted to sing along with the songs as well.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get dragged along on that, actually. but I do want to go see Gladiator 2. So that's my kind of movie, and hopefully I'll get to see that.
I thought about peeling off because right as we're walking down, Wicked is on one side, Gladiator 2 was on the other. And I was like, oh, man, hey, can we just meet up? No, I'm not going to do that. That would cause a problem.
You're a good family man, Mike. That's why you did that. You took one for the family.
That's exactly it. Well, I mean, my daughter just got home from college on Friday, so it's like, hey, we're all going out together. Don't be that guy. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'll do that. Hey, you've got a big giveaway that you were putting together. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. We every year raise money for an organization called Responder Rescue, responderrescue.org if people want to check it out. It's like Backstoppers, except they help people who are injured in the line of duty as opposed to dying in the line of duty. Backstoppers does such great work. They step in and they help people who've been killed, first responders in the line of duty. They help their families. Responder Rescue is there for the people who are injured and maybe are out of work for months at a time and may need help here or there with a medical bill or, a heating bill or whatever. They accept requests and they write checks. That's what they do. So for 3 years now, this is going on the fourth year, we've been raising money for them. And we do it with them through a raffle. And it's the Responder Rescue ATF raffle, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms raffle. You have an opportunity to win one of those three items. We're going to pick a winner on Wednesday. And each of the packages is worth in excess of $1,000.
Wow.
So for a $1 ticket, and the minimum's $10, $10 purchase, minimum's 10 tickets, you might win one of those three items. We'll pick them on Wednesday. And I can't say enough about the people that donate to this. They offer up their goods and their services. The Range St. Louis West has donated a $2,100 9mm rifle that we'll be drawing the winner of on Wednesday. That's one of the prizes. There's a basket of bourbon You know, I'm a bourbon guy, Mike. If you listen, Sue knows that. She listens.
You've got a whole podcast.
I do, called The Mash, in fact, and I love bourbon. So I'm kind of putting together the kind of basket that I'd like to win, and it's got the Blantons and the Weller and the Midwinter's Night Dram and some local stuff from Stolock Whiskey and Nobleton's Distillery, and I mean we've got all kinds of great stuff in there. Four Roses, my friends at Lore Wine and Spirits have helped out with that. So that's the alcohol portion of it. Plus, somebody, Sue Thomas, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not you, is going to win a Robert Thomas signed Blues jersey, because that's going to be part of that package.
Dang it, that's awesome.
I know. I knew you'd love that. I got you a Thomas jersey once.
You did. I still have it, so it keeps me warm. I love it.
So, Mike, the third package is a good friend, Brian Schneider, who runs Lit Cigar Lounge down in the Chesterfield Valley, and he donated a evening for 10 in his private lounge down there.
Wow.
With bottle service and cigars and all that stuff, and it's worth like $1,000 as well. So we'll give away all three of those on Wednesday at 12:30. I'm going to do a Facebook Live out there at the range. So you got between now and Wednesday to buy your tickets. The more you buy, the more free tickets you get. So if you buy 10, you get 10. If you buy 50, you get 55, that sort of thing. I just encourage people to be generous, and it's all going to Responder Rescue. I mean, it all goes directly into their coffers. And all you have to do is text the word Responder to 33100. It's that simple. It's on our website, but it's easy enough if you just text Responder to 33100.
Mark, what about your plastic Santa?
Oh, I didn't mention that, Sue. I should thank you for bringing that up. So, Mike, I've got a domestic problem.
I heard this morning that I feel for you, man. I feel for you.
I think the thing is awesome, by the way. I just want to throw that in.
But in case anybody missed the story this morning, tell them about Plastic Santa.
It's a plastic molded Santa that I've been plugging in and putting on my front porch for years and years. We just moved. My wife has never liked the thing, and this year she told me, we're not putting that on the porch at the new house. I don't like it. So I'm complaining about it on the air one morning, and several people said, well, I'd take it. I love that. That's great. So I decided this morning that whoever makes the biggest donation to the raffle and gets their tickets and is interested in the Santa, all they have to do is DM me, tell me how much you spent, and the one that spends the most and wants the Santa, I'm going to deliver to them.
I cannot believe that she doesn't like it, but let you at least move it to the new house. I can't believe that she didn't, like, some sort of accident happen. You know how that goes. Something.
I don't know how much of that actually did happen, Mike, but the Santa survived.
How big is Santa? Like, is this a 2 foot, 3 foot, 10 foot?
I don't know, 2.5 or 3 feet, probably 30, 35 inches, something like that. So, it's not man size, but it's a good size plastic Santa Claus. I put a picture of it up on my Facebook page.
That's awesome. It'll fit on any porch in the St. Louis area.
Somebody said those things are collectible. I'm like,
they are.
I don't even remember where I got it, but if I can't use it, somebody might as well put it to good use.
That's awesome. Hey, let me ask you real quick about this raffle. How did you get started with these guys?
So for a couple years on my show, we've always took the month of November. We called it our first responder Thanksgiving, and we recognized local first responder organizations every day of the month. And on every Friday, we would deliver food, drop off donuts, or Grill Master Tony would drop off food to a different organization. We picked it random through the month. And about 3 years ago, I thought, well, what if I could do something more? What if I could turn this into some sort of a fundraiser? And I came up with the idea for this raffle, and I went to the folks at Responder Rescue, and they're like, hey, we would be happy to put on a raffle. And they loved my idea of calling it the ATF raffle. So for 3 years, people have been donating, and we've raised $80,000 as of last year.
Wow.
For Responder Rescue over the past 3 years.
I remember last year you doing this. You had a really successful year last year.
We did. We crushed it. We're a little behind this year. I'm nervous because I've only got a couple days left. So, anything you can give, and then you have a chance of winning some fabulous prizes. And if you don't win, you're helping our first responders, right?
Yeah.
Well, and people can see, this 9mm that you have is an awesome-looking rifle. That's
very
Missouri
cool. Gun. That's a Missouri gun. It's made in Boonville.
No way! I didn't know that.
CMMG is the manufacturer. It's a 9mm with a collapsible stock, and it's about $2,100 if you're going to buy it. So it's really cool that they were able to donate that for us for charity. So, I mean, I think that's fantastic. Anybody, I mean, if you go to the range, I'll just throw in a plug for them. You can buy tickets there as well. They've got a kiosk set up right when you walk in the door, and they've helped so much with this. I just can't say enough about them.
Well, your partnership with the Range West there in Baldwin is fantastic. You guys seem to do an awful lot of stuff together. It's great when you can have that kind of relationship with your advertisers and partners who will jump in and do stuff. And it's not just about, selling product. It's about giving back. Right. And it's about doing more in the community. So I appreciate you doing that, but I appreciate the fact of all the partners who come together and, man, these guys deserve it, Our first responders who get out there and do stuff for us every day, and they put it on the line. And I do appreciate what Backstoppers are do. I think Lieutenant Colonel O'Toole is the new executive director, isn't he, of Backstoppers?
I had him on Friday. Yeah, he's a great guy, too. And, a 40-year veteran almost, I think, of the St. Louis PD. And he was in the studio talking about this, and he boxed the first couple of years that they had this.
Oh, wow.
Back in the late 90s. Or the late 80s, I guess, early 90s. He boxed for 2 of those years. So he's been in the ring, so to speak.
Well, I will be at
competitors.
I will be at my first Guns and Hoses on Wednesday night. I'm looking forward to that. My buddy Corey Hogan, who is a firefighter, invited me to come, so I'm going to go to my first Guns and Hoses, and it should be a great time. Mark, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on with us and talking this up, because I want this to be your best year ever, and anything I can do to help, I'm on board. Again, if people want to buy tickets, all they have to do, the text way, the easiest way to do it is just responder to 33100, correct?
That is it, Mike. Thank you, and thank you, Sue. Appreciate it.
Hey, good luck with Santa. I hope he finds a nice home. I'm a little concerned, but your wife is very understanding, at least for it to make the trip. I'm just saying.
That's very true. Thank you, Mike.
All right, man. That is Marc Cox. You can hear him here tomorrow morning. He starts at the butt crack of dawn at 5 a.m. And, Mark lives out in God's country now. He has escaped to St. Charles County.
Yep.
And I found out I'm his county councilman.
Oh, that's funny.
So he can yell at me for a lot of things now. It's not just about radio stuff. Hey, we're getting to that time of the show where we have our audio cut of the day. And one of the things that we were talking about is all the picks that Trump has made and all the folks that he has put together. And Tammy Bruce had a great cut today in talking about Trump's picks, and we decided to make that our audio cut of the day.
Stand by. Playback ready. Now, the audio cut of the day.
What I've seen with all the picks is a unique dynamic where many people are now in charge of agencies that targeted them. That's a statement to everyone in the country about the nature of what the Trump administration is going to be. But they're individuals who also belong there. They have great educations, terrific experience, maybe not so familiar or experience within the elite regular swamp milieu, but close enough to where they've had accomplishments. They know what they're doing. Exactly the kind of people that the American people would trust to have those jobs.
I thought it was very unique in talking about the fact that some of these picks are those ones, like she's saying, that they got targeted. And I think there's going to be some massive payback that's going to happen from some of these picks. And I'm curious to see how all that's going to end up playing out. He's got some unique picks. I was telling somebody earlier today, the Democrats are the ones that keep screaming diversity, diversity, diversity.
And he's got it.
He's got an awful lot of diversity. I mean, he started, his very first pick is the very first female chief of staff. So for all of the stuff and all the boxes that Biden kept trying to check when he was putting together his cabinet, I think Trump checked an awful lot of boxes that would take care of all that stuff, but he did it with people who are qualified. That's the
Yep,
difference.
that is.
You know, it's not about checking a box. It's about providing for the country. It's been my pleasure. I hope to talk to you tomorrow. We're going to do this again at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. My name is Mike Elam, and for Mark Reardon today, thanks for listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, the accident eastbound 6440 approaching Timberlake Manor has been moved off to the right shoulder, but it's still causing a delay in that area. There was also a stall northbound 170, a little bit north of 64, and it was just right on the right shoulder, but pretty close to that right lane. And it's still there. No crews on the scene, so just be cautious as you travel through there. But really, other than that, we're in okay shape. Now, westbound, Manchester in general is really pretty slow tonight at Reese Road. And 270 has thinned out. That's some good news, headed for 44. And 55 looks pretty good. Now, there is some moderate volume at Revis Barracks and around Z, but for the most part, it's in good shape. This report brought to you by GL International Realty. Planning to sell your home? Work with the very best. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty will guarantee to sell your home at your price or she will buy it. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 556 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, you know, the holidays can be a tough time of year if you're going through the end of a marriage. There's no doubt about that. Susan L. Ward can absolutely help you. And, you know, we're getting to that time, and a lot of people put this off. One of the questions we asked Susan a couple years ago